Klingenweks is ready, here we go. Watch me scramble to complete a 3-hour show. We'll talk about lives and what's on your mind. Never know what will come up this time. We vibe and we chill, including spirited debate, but we do it with love and never with hate. Talk about lives and what's on your mind. Never know what will come up this time. We vibe and we chill, including spirited debate, but we do it with love and never with hate. We vibe and we chill, including spirited debate, but we do it with love and never with hate. Friday night, I can't believe it's Friday and we made it. Get the weekend started, let's go live on YouTube.
Yeah, it's a Friday night flick and you know it's going down. Get your friends and your knives and let's have a good time. Got that play, click, clacking and I'm ready to go. Gotta check the homie groove on to see what knives he's got.
I can't believe it's Friday and we made it. Get the weekend started, let's go live on YouTube. It's Friday, I can't believe we made it. It's Friday.
I can't believe it's Friday and we made it. Get the weekend started, let's go live on YouTube. Ooh. It's a Friday night flick and you know it's going down. Get your friends and your knives and let's have a good time. Got that blade click clacking and I'm ready to go. Gotta check the homie Juve on to see what knives he's got. Ooh. Gotta check the homie Juve on to see what knives he's got. Ooh.
I can't believe it's Friday and we made it. Get the weekend.
I'm left a little bit, but are you high on cigarettes? And when that stuff runs out, you're gonna wanna make it. Are you high on cigarettes?
Let's watch Juvan's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvan's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvan's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvan's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Do you know that you're right or wrong? 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 He don't smoke them, but he loves it when you do. That's why he's high on cigarettes. And if you find him, you should light him up a few. He's getting higher on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvan's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvan's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvan's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvan's weirdness and get high on cigarettes. Do you know that you're right or wrong? Do you know that you're right or wrong? Do you know that you're right or wrong? Do you know that you're right or wrong?
Harvey, want anything special for your birthday?
Just a decent cup of coffee.
You're kidding.
I'm serious. Honey, your coffee's undrinkable.
It's pretty harsh.
Well, so's your coffee. You know, the girls down at the office make better coffee on their hot plates. Well, see you later.
And he didn't even kiss me goodbye. You know, if I could just make a decent cup of coffee, I could relax. So, relax. Why don't you try Instant Folgers? Tastes good as fresh perked. Good as fresh perked. I'll surprise Harvey for his birthday tonight.
Hey, great coffee.
It's Instant Folgers. Doesn't it taste good as fresh perked?
Better.
Better than those girls make at the office?
Honey, their coffee can't hold a candle to you.
I don't believe him. What's up, guys? Gals? I decided to start early. I'm playing with knives. I forgot to pick something up that's over there. So in a second, I'm going to duck over and get my strop. Because I am playing with knives. How's everybody? I hope everybody's having a fantastic day and had a great week. B Shady's in the house. Marco Ye is in the house. Miss Kathleen Smith is in the house. Howdy, howdy. Be up, Bubba. Be up. Be up, Bubba. Good to see you, brother. Sorry, guys. I did a little doze. I do that. I get off work at Neil McKenzie, channel member. What's up, brother? I get off work at 6 o'clock when we close, so I don't get home after I run with my dad till about 6:45. I sit down on the couch and I cannot help but just doze off. And usually it's just for a few minutes. Today was kind of close. Hey, Henry. I had plenty of time to get over here and get set up, but I'm kind of groggy. Usually I get started on my coffee, drink about half of it. I've not had but a sip. What's up, Richard Hopkins? The Roman gnome. He got a new knife today that inspired me to grab my waxwing nymph. And there may be some on the site. We're going to check in a second because there's another knife company that dropped knives today. Very good knife company. They dropped about 15 minutes ago. We look at that on Friday nights. We check them out. Who else is in here? Who have I missed? I think we're kind of low key because I started early, which is good. Can I play some Molly Hatchet? Always, buddy. Flirting with disaster. Every day. Paul Mills, my brother. What's up, Paul? Good to see you, man. Hey, Paul, we got in a cool knife. I think that they both sold, but the Microtech Ramlock SOCOM Ramlock. It's got a thinner blade. It's got a finger choil. I don't think I'm going to get to review it because, like I said, both of them have sold. We ordered 2 more. But I got a cool knife coming in. Charles, what is up, brother? Hello, hello. I've got I ordered a knife that's already come in. I just got to wait till I can pay for it. Congo, what is up? Y'all know I did my Dragonfly mod on my Spider Clone Dragonfly, my little one. I couldn't film that mod. I tried to. 45 minutes into it, I felt like YouTube would pull my channel because I'd cuss so much. I never got it together. I had to get help. But I learned when I was getting help what I did wrong. And so I ordered a K390 Warncliffe that just came into the store that I'm going to pick up. Probably trade something for it too. I usually don't like to pay for knives right now. I like to trade for knives because I'm not really in a position. Because let's face it, I don't have a job. I work part-time at a knife store a few hours a week. What's up, Conga? And I'm happy to do it. But this little knife and knives from Waxwing in general for that $130 mark are really nice. I didn't carry this today. I carried it Wednesday when I was off, and I cut a lot of cardboard with it. That's why I was going to get my strop. I've not stropped it. I haven't sharpened any of these because the fixed blades that I've been blessed to review lately, and I've got a couple more coming that I'm really excited about. But this little knife, hey, has blown me away. If anyone, I know the sheath looks funky. I wear it in my back pocket and sit on it. It's very comfortable. They also make a little leather sheath for $25 more. But I love this because it's a deep concealment carry clip, and my thumb goes right here, and I just pop it off. And this little chunk of crewware is so small, 6.6 inches, I think, but I can get a full 4-finger grip on it. And it's not super thin. It's not as thin as that wax swing. And I just think it's great. I really, this is up for knife of the year. And that's against my favorite knife. I still come into contact with knives that I think, and I'm going to do something else with some. I've got something in the works, kind of, just where I'm working up a handle idea for one of our really good friends, because there's other reasons to cut than just to break down cardboard. Sobex Scooter, my brother, and the reason I have a relationship with one of the other great knives I've been carrying this week with TKL, or not TKL, TRM. Sobex Scooter got me excited about TRM when we were both hanging out in Panda's chat room about 5.5 years ago, maybe longer. And I forgot, Mateo, I think, is who I traded for my first Neutron. Not my Neutron. Yeah, my first Neutron. And it's a knife that came the way of Monster Race. There's a lot of like bad juju that goes with my knife. But is one of the, I think, pocket clip hole strips. So there's that too. But I love this knife. I was going to show it and show something that TRM did that they didn't have to do. I don't have the one I bought at Blade Show that's in PSB 27, but it's also got a taco sheath. If you notice right here, there's a little notch in that leather. You can see it right there. And in the first one, there was a little notch. It just wasn't as pronounced as these are. And there is absolutely the pit bull. Oh, don't tell me. We'll look at that in a second. But they've now made it where this little tag along, and people say that's a small knife, John. It is very small, but some tools are designed to lead and some tools are designed to tag along. That's why why Les designed this knife. It's not designed to be a primary tool, and that's on their website. I didn't come up with that. Some tools are designed to lead and some are designed to tag along. This is a black DLC coated MagnaCut and fat carbon, super light, and this little notch that didn't need to be added. When you push this knife in the sheath, which is all leather, it clicks right there, and you can feel it tactily. I can take the other one and shake it. It's not coming out. The only reason they improved on that, and when I mentioned it to them, they were like, I'm so glad you noticed. The only reason they improved on that is somebody came up with a way to make it continually better. This knife didn't need a sheath improvement. It's fantastic. And is Sobex, is that on there? Where would I see that? Where would I see a pit bull? While you do that, I'm going to pull up Wax Swing. I'll be right back. I'm back. $1931 leather wall, an auto bulldog. Nice. Very nice. I'm not going to let any cats out of any bags, but one of my favorite current autos, even though I hear that people with bigger fingers, the button on this is not, see how there's not much around the button right here? For somebody with a little finger like me, I can push that button with no problem. This is the American Blade Works Model 3, I think. But I think in future iterations, and I know like my friend A to Z, I don't know if y'all can see that button very good, but there's not anything around it. I think it looks clean. I can get to it with no problem without even thinking about it. But allegedly, it's harder if you've got a really chunky finger. But this is a fantastic knife. I'm a huge, huge fan in Michael Martin and American Blade Works and what they're doing there. I would love, love, love to see him come up with a small fixed blade. I think he's got a perfect place for one. I think everybody's making one, but I think to come up with one that's innovative. This knife, when you look at it and you handle it, a lot of people will say it's really not innovative. And it's probably innovative is the wrong word, but it's a very fresh, functional design. The function follows the form of this knife beautifully. I can rant and rave about it because I think what they've done is they've somehow balanced the handles, maximized the handle, and with this little reverse Tonto, lightly bellied crew wear blade, they've nailed something special here. The CNC, head CNC or shop manager, I forget, Mr. Smith is the one who designed this, drew this little knife out. And the knife handle, or the knife that I'm looking at, I don't want to make, where is it? I don't want to make a knife that looks like this, but I'm focusing on working out this because this handle is a very nice handle. This is a Rainier Fast Pack. This is a USA knife I picked up years ago when I first got into small fixed blades. It's L-Max. It's a little bird and trout style knife. I use it with my paring knife sheath. The guy that sent me the sheath that you fly with, and then you can stop at the town, your vacation city, and go get a paring knife anywhere, and it fits in it. And this little fast pack fits it perfectly, and I like it better than the Kydex. Show y'all another. Hey, Brashear Bear. Hey, Bugsy. Doing a little show and tell. This is my Master Joda Lancelot leather custom sheath with his custom Lynch pocket clip that they designed for him. My brother Ryan Ellis had a sheath kind of similar to this, but the Kydex sheath that came with my tried and true that I traded Shane for, this is the Steve Kalari Alex Steingraber collaboration. So it's a custom knife with CNC help, custom final grind. And this thing is thin, guys. It's K390 and I think it's 67 HRC. Slices like a beast, so much so that I'm scared to sit on it. It's measured. We measured it when Joe made the sheath so that it fits right in my back pocket. But I think I've shown you guys. I sit on my knives because I carry them in my back pocket, and I don't really want to sit on this guy. It's probably going to be a right front pocket. But a knife that I broke out of my little case that I love, and I think you guys can get these. These are the USA made Big Idea Design Companies. Look out. This is a small little knife, and I like it. It's Magna Cut. It's made right up the road in Chattanooga. It's got some good jimping right here on the spine where your thumb goes. Nice vintage micarta handles. Some through-way toggle bolts on the back, so you got a lanyard if you want it. And the whole thing is only, and I carry it in my back pocket because I'm going to show you what I think is innovative about Big Idea Design Company's fixed blades. It's their sheath, 6 inches. Perfect size for me. I like a 6-inch fixed blade. But their sheath, they ship it with a right hand and a left hand. And then you can move this titanium clip because that's kind of what they're known for, is their titanium work. But you can move this really unique clip to either sheath and it carries deep. So when I put this in my pocket, it's carrying right there. It's a good one. And they're priced very fairly, I think, for a USA made knife. But let's look at what Waxwing has, if anything, because I just pulled them up. Waxwing is Trevor. He's a young forester knife maker. He's got Zephyrs in stock for $89. 135, I'm sorry. So it looks like he does have Zephyr and the others. He drops every Friday at 4:30 Eastern time. The one that's available is full flat grind, super thin, 6.62 inches overall, 2.65 cutting, 1/16 inch stock, belt satin. Comes with the Kydex taco sheath. But if somebody's looking for a little nice little thin blade, the one I have by comparison is the Nymph. This one right here. He has five really great designs, and then he designed a knife that he collaborated with Jared Neves with. Let me drop this in the chat in case anybody wants to go grab the Zephyr. Richard Roman Gnome, if I'm not mistaken, picked up a Zephyr, had it come in today. It could be wrong. Let me see anybody that's come in. Let me see. What's my least favorite that I've purchased? Let me think. I can tell you the least favorite that I've purchased was my PMP Tianto. It was one of my most expensive buys. It was $550. I ended up only losing $100 on it, but I went through a period where it looked like I might not even sell it on Blade Binge. I finally took it to eBay, but I bought it because I'd seen a Metal Complex video on it. This is well when I had my channel, and I thought it was a very cool knife. It was a big knife that looked like a shovel. It was very disappointing. And this is going to sound dated, but when I was buying a lot of knives, I was very disappointed early on by the Civivi Elementum, the first variation. It was really hyped up to be a great budget knife. I already had a QSP Pelican. I had a couple of other really nice budget knives, and the Civivi didn't do it for me. Elementum was everybody's knife. Everybody was talking about. I've got a list of them. Lately, out of the ones that come in, there's some like this Concept Eagle Strike. There's nothing wrong with the knife. I'm just a little bit over bar locks. However, last night, I was able to bring a knife home from Knives and More. I did the video. I put it out today. It's on a ZT, which is a brand that's, I think, been on the channel twice. But it's a 0117. And it is a kind of a bar lock. If you look at it, it's got a bar and it's got two things you pull back. But it's all carbon fiber except for a little bit of steel. It's got a very thin Magna Cut blade. It's USA made. It's $262 and it weighs 1.8 ounces. And I love it. But like, this is a knife that I would say, you know, that their knives, when they come in and I review them, I don't want to be biased because I know the gentleman that's older than me that owns Knives and More, his favorite lock is the bar lock. It's a great lock. It's probably one of the most sturdy, safest locks. It's a great beginner to intermediate to advanced knife guy lock. I just have a bias against it because I like a physical detent. But I bought some dogs, and I'll be honest with you. Most of the knives that I bought, I've been influenced to buy from videos that I watched because I was the guy, Lefty. I owe him a debt of gratitude and at the same time hold him responsible for me spending a ton on knives. But because I'd watch somebody's video who I really like, tri-states or lefties, then I'd go do more research on the knife from somebody else that I might not know as well. I bought very few dogs because I think the video that I watched on them had been presented accurately because I was listening for things. Unlike a lot of people, I'm not as focused on blade steel. I like action. I like build materials. I like titanium. I like micarta a whole lot. I like different stuff. So I was rarely disappointed. And I knew the PMP Tianto was a risk. I just did. And, it was just such a big, beefy knife. It was one of those things that I felt drawn to. I kind of wish I had it. It was fully DLC. But I paid more for it than I paid for my Hinders, which is crazy. Saw an interesting Hinder that we've got in at the store. Not one I like. It's a XM18 recurve. And I'm not a recurve guy. I'm kind of like anything that's intimidating to sharpen, a recurve adds to that. And almost everything's intimidating. And Bugsy, mine is so personal. I hate to even say that in videos because, for example, perfect example, this is a Kaiser Phoca, Phoca. And this one has a top, it's not a button lock, it's a top actuated liner lock. So you push it, it's basically a liner. I can't get to it from right here, but it's a liner lock. This is the Amazon version, which is a bar lock. The detent on it is very crisp. It works very well. It's a stronger lock than this liner lock. However, because this is a physical detent, it's the blade rolling against the liner. It feels so much better to me. So I think the bar lock has a great place in the community. I think people evidently like it because so many people are using it. I know it's easier to manufacture.
Bar lock sucks.
Or other locks. But I don't want to be biased and not be, bar locks are good for people who like them. I used to love them. What's up, Kyle?
Bar locks suck.
I know, but was there ever a time when you loved them?
No.
Really?
Really?
See, I went through the whole phase, the Benchmade, Axis lock, the clutch lock. I can appreciate them for what they are.
I don't like mushy feeling opening actions.
Hey, did you happen to see this? I don't know if you can see the screen. Did you see this I talked about on Tuesday? Or I know you aren't feeling good. This is a remet. I realized that I've reviewed a fixed blade remet, and this is the second one. They've got a little Amazon division that reaches out to me separately from the one that won't talk to me. And this was a budget knife that they wanted to know if I wanted to check out. And I said, sure. I didn't see a picture of it or anything. But this is, first of all, it's a $35 knife. It's G10. It's 14C. I like the look of it. And the coolest part about it, it's got the button actuated liner lock. But check this out. I can also get to it like a regular liner lock. Even though it doesn't have any extra relief cut out to make it easier to do that. You know what I'm saying? You've got a choice. Yeah. You can use the button.
Seems fine for the price.
For $35, it's I'll just send it to you to check out. It's got a reversible clip, perfectly centered. It's a refreshing to see knives like
No,
that.
I trust you, but I just don't have any desire. So I
Yeah,
don't.
I know.
I appreciate it, but I mean, I'm not trying to be a jerk. I appreciate it. I don't need to see it.
Hey, I traded.
I'm glad that they're making that for people for the budget affordable knives. Just
Yeah, that's my whole thing. Is I think it's exciting to see the choices that how far $40 will go. You might appreciate this. I won't know exactly what it is, but I traded yesterday a Freedom Pill dispenser, the first one I ever bought, and a knife for this. Does that ring a bell? Does it look familiar?
a slip joint. That's all I know.
Yeah, it's a slip joint, and evidently it's a GEC, but it's supposedly a rare one.
I don't
I'll
know
tell you
anything
what
about
the
slip
numbers.
joints.
You don't like GECs, or do you kinda? You don't
No,
do
I
any slip
mean,
joints.
I don't slip joints, but I don't have a problem with GECs if that's. I like the
This
fact
is
that they have heritage and they're made here.
yeah,
Um,
and this one's got a lot of historical, like the company that this was made for back in the day is on there. This one's a 47, a number 47. Any of you GEC guys out there? But I basically, if I was paying, not trading, I would have been basically paying list price secondary for this. The only reason I did it is that Freedom Pill dispenser is just gathering dust. I don't need it.
hopefully, it wasn't a good one.
No, it was the first Keltec
Oh,
ever,
okay. Then yeah,
ever
good
made.
trade. Good
Yeah.
trade.
And little Kotz tools. I think that they're pronounced Coke. KOCH
Yeah.
is how they're spelled. That
Yeah.
little curved purple blade. Really nice guy who I traded it with. But
Is it
for
called
me,
like War Toad or something?
what's that?
Was that called like the War Toad or something like that? That he used to make that little small chode knife, little short
I
stubby
thought it
blade.
was called. It very well could be. I looked it up at one time, and for some reason thought it was a lady hawk, but I could be wrong.
Well, he made a lot of smaller knives, but depending upon which version. But the one I'm thinking of was almost as tall as it was long.
This one is a chisel ground, trailing point, really tiny G10 handle. Don't really understand how it's meant to be held or used. I'm sure it's got some kind of talon type of.
Okay, that's not what I'm thinking then. Let me.
Not my jam. It was a cool knife for a while. I had it for a couple of years. I broke this out because I don't know if Mr. Gary's going to jump on tonight. But this is have I shown you this, Kyle? My 8015 cold steel with Satu's grind on it.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
I need to carry this knife because it's got a Pops clip. I don't think he's making clips anymore. You used to could get these on Etsy. A really nice deep carry clip. A little bit of titanium, but this knife set up so the titanium is pretty minimal on it. And the action, I'm having trouble reverse flicking it where I used to have it down to a science. I'm putting pressure on it.
That's the one I was thinking of.
Oh, is that a fixed blade?
No, that's a folder.
Really?
Well, they make it in a fixed blade and in a folder. But that one there, it's a friction folder.
Oh, how cool is that? So your palm goes over and kind of gives you your security.
Yeah, I remember that being the first one that I was ever introduced to Coke tools.
Very cool. We passed on a knife tonight that you would have found interesting. Tate and I both found it interesting, but he wasn't interested enough, or he sent a picture to John. John wasn't interested in it. It was an early USA-made Gerber automatic that knife reminded me of because it was so unusually tall or fat. I forget how you would. It just has a very tall blade, a very tall handle, which could be interpreted as wide depending on how you're looking at the blade. From spine to grind or spine to apex was a lot of blade. And it was a short little weird one. Sire Shop is in the house, a channel member. That is my spirit brother, sister. from over in the Georgia area. Give her some love, everybody. Mr. Prism, what's up?
Yeah, that's a
Good to see you, young lady. Go ahead, buddy. I'm sorry. I'm just seeing people that I didn't say hi to. I'm going backwards. I miss everybody for some reason. I can't watch the chat and have a conversation. Go ahead.
I don't remember what I was going to say now.
I screwed you.
That's
we were talking about
oh, that's just that's the
47 Viper. That is it, Henry Christopher. That is the knife that I have in my possession.
That's considered tall. You were talking about blade height. The width would be the blade stock thickness.
Is anyone familiar with that Gerber? I'm going to pull Gerber USA Automatic, see if I can find a picture of it. Because he said he almost bought it for himself. Hey, did. Because Gerber's used to be really nice.
I did an interesting test this past week. You'll get a kick out of this. So I was taking apart that Mannix. What's up, Chris? I was taking apart that Mannix 2 lightweight of mine. And the pivot screw was stripped on it. I couldn't get it out with anything. I ordered new bits, couldn't get it out. So I tried everything. I tried drilling it. I couldn't get anything to work with it. So finally, I just started messing around with trying to like separate it, pull it apart, or whatever. And I ended up snapping the FRN scales, which I don't really care because I'm not going to use them anymore. But I was
replacing those.
Right, but I was still had the pivot in that little figure 8 metal piece behind it, pinning down the washer and screw, so I couldn't get the.
Had you put fire to it by this time? Had you heated it up real good?
I've tried heat, I tried cold, everything. So, anyways, I finally kept working it, and I got back and forth to the point where I could get part of the threads of the screw. I mean, I had pliers on it, pulling and everything. So I took my I wanted to test the toughness of 14C. I took that Miguron and just tried sawing through that pivot, just hammering down on it just for shits and giggles, right? I don't care.
How'd the steel hold up?
Like shit. I mean, it actually it literally rolled in like a matter of 3 or 4 pushes. It was hilarious. So I was surprised at how soft it was.
So you were surprised at how quickly it rolled. I got you.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was abusing the shit out of it, and I know that. I don't care. I mean,
right, but that's a torture test. People do torture tests all the time.
And it's not what the knife was used for. It's not what it's designed for, but I just was curious. So long story short, anyways, I end up getting the screw head out of there, and without damaging the pivot barrel, which was amazing.
Most important.
Yeah. So, but that was the highlight of testing, talking about random steals and testing stuff.
But that's a perfect scenario in which the test said steel. You know, when you're up against the wall and you're like, fuck it, I'm going to use this. That's where I do my sharpening. When I get my balls together, because I'm still using tape, having no problems, not using tape, getting little scratches. It's driving me nuts because I know I can get a clean edge. I'm as good as these guys, not as good as you, but good as these guys that aren't getting scratches on their blade. They're tiny, but they're there.
So that was an ordeal working with that Mannix, but I'm glad that that's done. So I've got your ball cage pulled aside. I'm going to start working.
No rush on that. Take all the time you want. I mean, I forgot about that knife.
I just finished up a batch of Shane's knives that are going out.
How'd you like that Mannix of mine? Isn't that a pretty cool build?
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, I liked it too. I was glad to get. That's back when they had the sniper gray. They don't make that color anymore.
Yeah, the only thing on that ball cage, I was surprised because it just didn't show much color. Like it was hard to.
No, it looks almost black.
Yeah. So, but I did test it, and it is tie for sure. I was making
You
sure
can
it was.
make it yellow. You can make them both yellow. Just surprise me. Whatever color you want to do those two in. I have no preference.
Do you remember? Are those screws tie, or are they the standard
They're-
screws?
They should be tie. Well, no. Are they black?
Yeah.
Those are the black screws that came with it.
Okay. Well, then
Because it was a
can't.
blacked out knife center exclusive.
Okay. Then I won't mess with those. I was gonna say I would make it matching all the way around.
We
but-
did get a Mannix in and a pair 3. I don't know if you heard. We got 2 of the SOCOM ram locks. They both are sold, but that is a knife that I like. It's my favorite ram lock knife yet. For one, they got the clip right. Secondly, the blade is much thinner and it's got a nice choil, a nice finger choil. And then today we got 16 in different variations of this knife. This won't excite you, Kyle. It doesn't excite me. I just got one because of all the hype on the floor, not the hype on YouTube, but sold every single one of these by 2:00 today.
What the hell is that? What's up,
This is
Nino?
a Case Knives Cheetah Cub. So it's a log back, but it's got that swing bolster. So the Cheetah is a popular design that they did back in the old days, and they brought it back a couple years ago. The Cub's its smaller sibling, and they do it. They're probably doing this in 14 patterns, 12 stainless steel and 2 carbon steels. But there are people that are watching his Facebook group because John is inept as he is with social media. He's got Facebook conquered because he's got a group on there that's full of case buyers. And he like took a picture of these when they came in and the phone instantly started ringing. And he limits how many they can get. And yeah, people buy them. And evidently these are resale magnets because this is a $97 knife or $96, depending on this might have been a 96 because it's Curite, which is plastic.
Speaking of Mannix, so I told you about the ordeal with getting those one scales I couldn't get swapped over because I was trying to find a second set of liners. So I ended up trading some tie scales for a set of OG scales. And the scales are just so.
Are those linerless?
Yeah.
Don't you like it better linerless?
I don't really care personally. I mean, yeah, it's nice, but the thing I don't like about it is they're slick. Even with that milling, they're slick.
What kind of scales are they?
Oh, geez.
Original goat?
Yeah. So this one's not done yet. This one's going to go out. I'm going to get my buddy to blast it and probably try to put a satin or a flat Cerakote on it to see if I can't get a little better texture on it.
Grab one.
And then I'm going to change. I still got to change the hardware on it, but that's a 15.
I agree, Mimo. Those are the ones we tried to get some. Yeah, those look like they're nice, but they don't look as grippy. And the reason I say to grab one, Mimo, is if you grab a case knife, especially a Cheetah Cub, and you just put it in your safe or stick it aside for 10 years, you will make money on that knife. Not $1,000, but if you buy one like every 2 weeks, if I were to buy a case knife and just put it away, if I'd been doing that for the last 5 years, I could turn it around and make double my money, depending on how much I put into it. They never go down in value. It's insane.
Mimo,
it makes no sense.
I was trying to avoid going AWT. Not that I dislike them. I'm not a fan of aluminum. So I bought a set of tie scales for it, but they were not linerless, so they didn't fit, and I didn't have a set of liners for them. So I ended up trading those tie scales for these OGs just so I have something that these would fit in.
What do you think about those rock scales?
They're pretty nice.
Don't I have a discount code for those? For me, like I think I might have a reviewer code. Let me check on that because I know they used to send me some, but they said now they've got a code, but I can't remember.
Yeah, but I'm not going to pay to. I've already bought the scales once. I'm not going to buy another set. I'm just going to get these worked on, and
you get them more grippy.
Yeah, I mean, hell,
So
if
I
I
was gonna
really,
say you could sell those at Blade Binge.
I'm not
You
selling
could
shit.
sell those for 80, 90 bucks.
I'm not
Easy.
selling Blade Binge.
Easy.
My other one is in.
And you get rock scales for less.
I mean, I like the rock kills better. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know if they do linerless ones.
They do. The ones you're holding in your hand, my knife is linerless. That's why I sent you the liners.
I didn't even look. I didn't look at it to make sure.
Yeah. So if when you put it back together, that's what it's like when it's linerless with the rock scales. That's why I sent you the liners, because I don't need them.
Gotcha.
But they are available and they are awesome. And I'm sure you could sell those rock scales.
Now I just got done bitching. Anyone want to buy a set of OG Manic scales for $50? You can have them.
I wouldn't go 50. I'd go a little higher than that, because you got to get them. They're good scales. OG makes good scales. They're just a different texture than AWTs that are very sharp, and then rock scales that have more patterns, that have more steps in them. Their mill does more, is my only deductive logic to why they're different.
I also like the difference. I like a little bit more weight, so I don't mind the tie versus aluminum.
I do too, Knife Nut. I did 2 PM2s identically on purpose. So Kyle has my Sniper Gray. This is the same pattern in raw, because I really like this dragon scale pattern, and I don't have my down table. But this one's got a backspacer, which is the bomb.
I'll grab
and
yours.
This one doesn't.
I got them handy.
But one of these is this one I can tell it's heavier. This is my Tonto. Oh, yeah. Well, those are different than the ones I've got here then, Kyle. The ones I've got here are the dragon kind of looking scales.
I wish, Turd Burglar.
Anybody get on the brown Cortex XL? I wish I was in the position to do that, Turd Burglar. That's the best knife. That's the finest knife I've ever experienced. I can say that for me. I liked it better than the FSD and better than the FSD Benny, because I love the detent and I love the blade shape and I love the way it cuts.
Well, there's Mr. Dawson. Of course you did. Did something come out recently that's nice? Jeffrey Dawson bought it.
What's Jeffrey get?
That Cortex XL.
Oh, that was him to get in the Cortex XL. Is he Elite Turd Burglar?
No, he asked, and then Dawson said he did.
I got you. See, I don't keep up with this stuff. I'm simple. I'm kind of dumb that way.
And I want to say this real quick. I was very fortunate enough that I was able to trade those tie scales for these scales with Mr. Dawson. And in no way does that represent him. I need something with a little more grip. So I think that I'm either going to try to get these worked on, or I'm going to try to do something different.
The struggle's real. See these, Kyle?
Yeah.
This has got even my Lynch, my really nice titanium clip. See that clip?
Yep.
That's a 2-piece clip. I don't know if you've ever seen Lynch's 2-piece clip, where you mount the back part, then you mount the front part. It's a really nice clip, but it's so slick. Turn it sideways. Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
exactly.
Yep.
How do you like that?
It's awesome.
I love it. I thought it was a great design. But this is my Yojimbo, but they're smooth. These are Knives Plus scales that I got years ago, back when I liked Flame Anno. I know everybody's like, there's so many problems with that. Don't even talk about the smoothness. But this will literally almost fly out of your hand. I just don't feel comfortable flipping it as much as I would if it was textured. But then again, if you get frag, you rip your pants up.
It's more of the, so like the OGs are flat. I mean, that's just completely dead flat. There's no milling, right?
Right.
I mean, there's no contouring. So they're slick even when they're being milled. These, I'm not going to show off all of it, but these are contoured, right? And these being completely plain with no milling are still much more grippy.
Just from your nature of hand going around it.
Yeah. So that's the other Manix project I'm working on. I'm still gonna.
Congratulations, Jeffrey. That's a banger. I had the Talos from Spartan, which I think had a similar profile. I think there was some kind of collaboration between that Spartan Talos and the
Yeah.
Les George. Am I wrong?
No, it was a Les George design that Spartan did
I
it
thought it was.
as a budget run.
Correct. It was CTS XHP and it was like $119. This is a really good knife, and what I've been impressed with as much as anything from Kaiser has been them using this Norplex Ultra X micarta. Whoever Norplex is, y'all look into it. I don't know, but they make micarta, and this stuff is very nice. Minda Milton, what's up, yo yo?
Happy birthday,
Brody,
Milton.
what's up, brother? And this is a budget knife. This is a $55 knife.
I heard you talking earlier about some pro tech about the thumb placement, and man, y'all need to go on thumb diets if you can't get your thumb on a button.
That wasn't a ProTech. That was the American Blade Works.
Still,
And I can get it on, but my buddy A to Z had a really hard time, and somebody else was saying that they had a tough time with it, and they didn't have a big a thumb as me. Did you see that knife, Kyle?
yeah, I'm familiar with it.
I'm sure Michael would make a little cutout around it, but I think he did that to make it safe. You know, it sticks up just a little bit, but it doesn't have any cutout around it. But for me, it's very easy to manipulate.
I don't see. I'm anti cutout on autos or butt locks. I don't think it's necessary, and I think that's kind of the purpose, so that way you're not accidentally bumping into it.
I agree. And I hate a safety on a knife. I see that on a lot of Benchmade automatics. Hate it.
I agree.
I mean, absolutely hate it.
Oh, you talking about the ones that pop up like over the chat? I've been getting those like crazy in the last 2 days.
What's that? The ads?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get those no matter what I watch, even if I'm not getting like diverted to ads, because I watch a lot of live streams where an ad just comes in, and it's not that you lose content, you lose the chat. You get behind by 5 seconds or whatever it is.
Yeah. Knife nut. I wasn't specifically calling anyone out. I just was saying that the whole premise of that I think is silly, but yes, I agree.
We traded for like 20 Benchmade automatics from this oil rigger. Every single one had been used. There were like 6 to 8 of each design. Not one had been put up. They've all been used. They're all the same, and they all have that safety on the back spine that you can just push up. You can forget it's there and never use it, but I would not be able to forget it was there. It would just bother me as a feature I didn't want.
Have you seen Scooter been around tonight?
He was. He was here earlier. Sobex.
Yeah, Scooter, if you're still lurking, let me know. I got something to show you. Dawson, dude, Chad is the nicest human being. I had an interesting conversation with him a couple months back. I reached out to see about getting a piece, and he was just the nicest guy. I was very, very impressed just having a conversation with him.
Is that the Damascus, Chad Nicholas Damascus?
Yeah.
I got you. I got you.
What's up, B Shady? And everyone else I didn't get to say when I first came in. Hello, Paul Mills and Richard and everyone else I missed. Sorry.
Yeah, he's got to be in the top 3. But Jeffrey, there really are some really good people. I know what we need to do. I need to, y'all keep talking, but there's some really good people that make knives, that share information, that work with people like, not that take anything away from Shane, but they'll take time and talk to Shane about a couple of questions. Not that anybody wouldn't, but it's cool to know that they're not gatekeeping, right? They're not hiding. They're not taking their process and guarding it with secrecy.
Knife Nut, a piece of one of his amazing bar stocks that he does of some crazy Damascus.
I still don't understand how they control those patterns. And I've seen some not from them, but from Baker Forge and some others like Damasteel, where they can control that pattern and replicate it.
I
I
got a
don't understand.
video for you to watch if you want to see how it's doing that. It's there's a whole it's a folding pattern. It's kind of like, think of it like origami. If you fold certain pieces certain ways, when it gets pressed out, it'll show that pattern. Then you cut it and you realign it so that they're matching again. And then you press it down or forge it, and then you fold them again.
Now I've watched them cut it. Answer me this: so they have 3 different hot pots. If you got 3 types of metal that you're going to put together, I thought at first that they took those 3 little pieces of metal that they were going to melt together to make the Damascus and put it in one pot. Do they put it in 3 separate pots and then start mixing it together when it's hot?
No, it's stacked. So you would alternate pieces. So like you would take a piece of 1095, slap a piece of 15 and 20 on top of it, then 1095, 15 and 20 back and forth. And if you're doing copper, you would put copper layers in between there, and then you weld the ends together. So a weld forge, put it in the kiln, heat it up, and then press it out on your hammer press or your anvil if you do it by hand.
I got you.
Power hammer, and then once that bar is rolled out to whatever you want, you cut it into pieces, restack it, weld it again, heat it up, and then forge it out again. So
And you're getting your strength by almost like a basket weave.
yeah, I mean, you're not necessarily. Yeah, I mean,
You're not gaining. I know you can have delamination. Hold on one second, Rhodey. Are you getting ads served to you, or are you just getting the little pop-ups in the chat if you're on your phone? Because I've got them turned off, and if they're on, I'll have a come apart because I go on and turn them off manually.
I'm talking about the ones that pop up over chat.
Yeah, those are going to pop up, and YouTube is they're an ad company, but they're the second largest search engine. I didn't know this until I started selling ads, more so than Yahoo and Bing together. People go, "How do I fix my lawnmower?" or "How do I do this?" or "How do I do that?" or "How do I order a bunch of sulfuric acid?"
Hey, Toddy.
Todd Carr.
The interesting thing on that, Todd, is if your welds are good, your forging is good, and a lot of those guys say like they only use flux or borax for at worst case scenario. They don't want to have to use that because it potentially could show weaknesses. So they try to get it forged the best they can without using any type of flux.
What do you think of this little guy? This is, I think, a new design. His pocket dock. It's this is a very good knife company, Nitro V and Micarta. I don't know what size it is. Let's see. Overall 6.4 inches, which is just perfect. Little pocket fixie in Nitro V. I was just seeing what this guy, very good knife company, goes and drops his knives every afternoon, Friday afternoon at 8:00. It looks like he's got just 3 pocket docks left. Oh, and a couple of big eagles and a first fight.
I'm not a small fixie guy though. I'm not a fixie guy in general.
Like, I know.
But I mean, it looks fine. It looks nice.
Look at the grind on this big guy. The swedge. I know you're not a big fighting knife guy. That's let's see what this is. This is 11 inches overall.
Yeah.
With the 2-inch guard. Hollow grind.
I don't know if he's watching, but I know he's under the weather, so he won't be here tonight. But I finished up one of his knives this week.
Who's that? Shane?
Yeah.
Is he not doing good?
He's got like the flu or something.
Oh, the funk. Oh man.
Yeah, it's going around down there. I got the tape on this. Let me get the tape off of here. I just finished the handles on this.
Did you ever get the one out to Brian for Paul? Not to Brian, to Terry?
That's going out with I got
Couple more
4.
to get with it.
Yeah, they're all going to Terry at once. So
I got you.
unfortunately, just trying to get logistics of that, it's bad to do one at a time because then the shipping adds up so much more. So trying to get a couple of them at a time to them. So
Look at me. I've got the wrong thing scrolling. Keep going, buddy. I'm sorry. I'm just.
Funny you said that, Elite Turd Burglar. That's what I'm about to show you. There's something in.
Yeah, feel
Pro
better, Shane. Shane, I hope you're out there laying on the couch listening to us talk about you.
Yeah, I hadn't heard from him since Tuesday, Monday.
It's been at least that long since I talked to him. It was Friday or Saturday when I talked to him. So I've been shitty this week.
I called him a couple times and then finally I texted him. I'm like, where the hell are you? Like, what's wrong? And he texted me back. It was say he's been sick. So man, I taped the heck out of this thing. Holy crap.
Well, that's good to do.
Well, I tape it when I was working on the handles so that way I don't accidentally slip off or scratch the blade finish or anything.
They bring in, Tate probably gets 20 to 30 knives brought in a day, like kitchen knives. And the way people transport their kitchen knives is terrifying.
When he first started making knives, the way he shipped them was terrifying.
But y'all learn from that. Yeah, you got to think about those are like cutting instruments moving around inside a cardboard box. Not a great plan.
Well, there also wasn't any padding. It was just literally had like 5.
Live and learn. Hey, guess what Richard Hopkins has been doing for the last couple of days? Richard, can I let the cat out of the bag? What you sent me pictures of?
Terry? No, I haven't.
He's got a new craft and he's killing it.
All right. You
Richard,
ready?
give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
Before you start talking about this, let me show this off real quick.
Yep, do it for sure. Let me make you big. Go ahead.
Pop's Pro Cut.
Ooh.
Big old clip point.
I love those handles too. And I love that blade shape. That's a tall flat, isn't it?
Full flat. Yep.
Oh, God. So what'd you think about working with Pop's Pro Cut on the stone?
I haven't sharpened this one yet.
Okay.
But it sharpens fine. It's not hard to work on. But yeah, I just finished the handles on this one and then
You kill those handles.
So what I don't know if it shows up very well on camera, but I actually did a 2-tone. So I sanded like how you see
like a brown and a light coyote.
Well, down in here, it's actually, it's divots. You can see how they're scalloped, right?
Right.
Well, those I left how Shane did them off of the wheel, so they're a little rougher. And I just sanded the flats. So the top part here is actually smooth, and then this part down here is actually rough.
Which gives you better grip and it gives you color variation.
Well, it also gives it a little better feel in the hand, so it's not rough all the way across.
That's awesome. I mean, dude, what you do, what Richard's been doing is he invested in a little Kydex setup because he likes to carry his knives a certain way, like appendix style. So he's been working some Kydex. He did the fret first. And he's got all the stuff he needs to make Kydex sheaths. So that might be something down the road. He's not doing it for anybody but himself now, getting good at it.
Here's Scooter's handles.
Scooter. Those are beautiful. Is that, what do you call that? Mars Valley?
No, this is just regular carbon fiber. It means a blended, but it's not fat carbon.
What's the difference in regular carbon? Because to me, that looks like fat carbon.
It's a shredded carbon, so it's just got chunks of other stuff in there in resin. But I think those turned out pretty good.
What would you call this? Because I don't know what they call it. I'm just going to stick it up there. Would you call this just regular? Because to me, it looks like regular carbon fiber with just a pattern on it.
I can't tell with your lighting, man. No offense, but it's all different colors. It's blue.
I did it on purpose so people don't see my broke out teeth. Let's see. Look. It looks like that 80s.
A little bit, yeah. It's hard to tell. Where's that? What knife is that?
That's a TRM.
Then I'm sure
And I
they're
haven't
probably,
gone to look at their site.
yeah. A lot of the overseas companies were using their own fake fat carbon for a while.
This is US, but I don't know.
Right. That's why I was asking who made it first. So I'm sure that's probably something that.
Is Fat Carbon a US company? They're not,
No.
are they? 'Cause
Fat carbon is Lithuanian.
that's where they say they get their carb. They've always sourced their carbon fiber from Lithuania. Back before they did Fat Carbon.
Yeah, I mean, there's places you can buy it here as like, dealers, but if you're buying it direct, it's
I'd ask a question. I think he's right.
correct. When has that ever stopped them before, though? Talking about other companies using trademark stuff. So
Correct.
camo carbon is USA. Fat carbon is Lithuania.
So is it just the EPA and how toxic it is that makes it prohibitive for USA companies to get into that business? Or
No, I mean, like I said, camo carbon is USA made. It's just that Fat Carbon came out with that first. They were the first one to the market with doing the wild colors and stuff, and they became a hit.
do any other industries besides knives use carbon like that? I would think so.
I mean, yeah, sure, like artsy things, jewelry,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, but not like camo carbon is not, and fat carbon, from my understanding, I'm not, could be wrong, is not like the highest end carbon as far as like structural. It's more designed for arts and looks. Some of the ones that they do in the crazy weaves, like who was it? I think camo carbon got a batch of carbon from SpaceX, and we're doing selling some pieces of that tool of that, but it was super expensive. That is structural, but most of the stuff is not designed to be. It's designed to be for looks. It's still very strong. Don't get me wrong.
This is not pretty, but it's designed to be structural. When you read up on this is that new ZT, and it's like layered up carbon fiber. Can you see that?
Yeah, that's how they make carbon fiber. It's all in layers.
This knife, Kyle, weighs 1.8 ounces. And the liner lock or the bar lock is a bar lock, but it does not feel like a bar lock.
Go back. What interior was that? I'm trying to figure out what that center console was.
Is it a?
Can you blow that picture? Because the key fob's right there. I can tell in the key fob.
Control plus?
Yes. Or option, command, whatever.
It just did it.
Okay.
Let me close this out.
Well, your share screen's down.
I know. I've got it where I'm trying just to get to the. I can't tell if it's a Maybach.
Go up just a hair.
I am. I'm going to open it again. Did it open again for you?
Yep.
All right, let's do this. It's a Mercedes. The key fob's a Mercedes, leather coated.
That's got to be the new SL.
That knife, the clip is ingenious. It mounts from the inside and it's reversible. It's got a Magna Cut super thin blade. And it is, I did a review on it last night. Brought it home an overview. See if they show it. Because I don't think it has Omega springs. I couldn't see down in there. So the only steel it has is a tiny little bit around the lock. And I've never been excited by a ZT except for one automatic that we've got that I showed Ryan when he was up here. That's the total opposite. It's super light, 1.8 ounces, full size knife, size of a PM2, and cuts like nobody's business because it's so thin. The geometry cuts. But it's got a really neat reversible clip. I'm just going to see if they show the lock up close.
That I'm definitely was more interested in the SO than my block, but the knife is not bad looking.
I know. There we go. Look.
Yeah.
Do you see an axis spring? Is that what that is?
Can't tell, but based off of the mechanism, it's some type of spring system.
Yeah, it's definitely a spring.
Oh, it's that Duralock, whatever. I forget how they're. I have not taken one apart.
But it feels different. It doesn't feel sloppy. It feels crisp. And look at that choil. I mean, it sharpens great.
Thank you, Mimo. I assumed it was an SL or the high-end SL, which is just a Maybach. But Richard, not yet. He's been laid up all week, so he hasn't sent me anything in a while.
But I was impressed by that knife.
There you go. Terry said I can't see it on my screen, but Terry said that there's a you can see part of the Omega spring nested in the.
It looked. That's what I thought too, but I couldn't tell if it was an Omega or a different shape. It did look like one, and that thing's $262, which I thought was fair for a USA price knife.
I agree. Hopefully, it's decent.
It seemed, like I said, it seemed solid. Had another issue down there yesterday when I was off where the young guy closed an out the front that had a price tag on the blade. It was one of those knives that had come in on that big tray. And John couldn't get one of the screws out, the older guy, so he immediately takes it to the back and puts the drill to it. And that did not go well. He tried to drill out the screw. Well, without even putting heat on it.
I don't know how that transpired, but to me, the first mistake is why the hell would you put a price tag on the actual OTF blade?
That's I've asked the same question, and it's because these were, you know how they have those cases at a knife show where it's a glass case, real thin, but you can put a bunch of knives in there. It's got foam on the back, and then you close it up and you lock it so people can come by and look at it, and you can open it and hand them a knife. Probably 3 feet by 3 feet. He has several of those, and they were all in one of those.
There's still no reason not to put it on the handle.
I agree. And usually they're not on the blade. They are on fixed blades, and that's a problem for me because I have to take it off, clean it, and put another sticker on it, take a picture of it. We still have that Bravo 1, those 2 Bravo 1s, which I think are great knives. They're just too big for anything I'd use. Those Bark River. But what I really like.
It doesn't look like it, Bugsy. I know what you're talking about, but that doesn't look like it. Those look more like they were flat.
So if you take that right there, just that front blade, and you put a handle that I'm thinking about that would work perfectly on that, Michael could have a fantastic EDC fixie without having to do a lot of retooling. And I'm thinking more, I need to see the size of the slip joint blade, because I almost think that slip joint blade could be a perfect blade to make I think a small fixie would be something, the way he makes knives, that he wouldn't have to kill himself to add a few.
No, I mean, as long as he had it in CAD, it's just a matter of punching it through, because he's very precise, and he even does all the scale work.
We had a short conversation about it, that it was something well within what he was wanting to do, but just didn't have much wonder if it would be something that people would.
Yeah, but also too, in the last year and a half, the small fixie market has been saturated a lot too.
It absolutely has. But
so you wonder when that bubble's going to burst and go to the next trend, next fad.
True. Because you watch. I wonder if it's a fad.
Well, it's every 18 months something new, and that's what's hot.
Yeah, but I still think if you're a quality maker, and you have, like, I'm not saying make 1,000. I'm just saying take advantage of it while people are interested. Because I know I think he could make slip joints from now till the cows come home. I think he needs to sell them for more, but they'll sell out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he would have a problem selling small batches of them, but he's not going to get rich off of it.
Wouldn't you think a better margin would be there for that though than a folder? And I know you can't sell it for the same amount, but like for example, when
Yes,
Hinder sells that little knife for $245 versus $425, I would think their margin's probably better than the small fixed blade.
not necessarily.
Okay, I just didn't know. I would have
Well,
thought
because you got to think if you're doing that and it's a full tang, like on a decent size,
they are
that's a bigger piece of bar stock than you are just on blade.
probably 3 times the bar stock, I would
So-
guess. Not counting the handle material though that you don't have to get. Well, I guess you do have to get handle material.
Yep. So I mean, there's pluses and minuses everything, and he would be able to sell quite a few, but also he did his pricings where he wanted it to be fair to where people can get it. And he may have undershot the slip joint a little bit, but now that he's there, it would be a silly move to increase it.
Yeah, I mean, not right away, but you and I both know that companies can increase their prices and they could even do we have to do this. Who was it most recently? Tim Reeves, who did that, who said we have to go up and people whine for a while on the Sabenza. It went up like $40.
I get that, but in the batches that he's doing, he's okay with that.
Sure. So he can work on a skinnier than optimal margin.
Yeah, but also knowing him as a man and what you know him to be about, that's not his priority. And
Right.
his priority is making a quality knife and giving it to people who want to use it and have it at a fair price, made in the US. So
And that's just so commendable. I mean, you just want to see him succeed and not get so popular that it shrinks him and constricts him so much.
Bugsy, there are a couple options. We're on StreamYard right now, and there are free versions and paid versions of it. There are different types. There's also completely free open software called OBS, which gives you more control, but it's a little bit bigger of a learning curve because it's completely
But there are
open.
great videos on it. You can easily learn it if you have the time. And there's something called Nesmuck, or you don't want that, I hear.
Basically, if you're willing to put the time in to learn, OBS is the most versatile platform, and it's completely open source free. So,
And Kyle, for what we do, you could set up OBS without all the bells and whistles to do what we do pretty easily.
Yeah. I mean, hell, you could get OBS, spend 80 or 90 bucks on an entry level Stream Deck, and have things already prompted into your macros if you wanted to play a clip of something, this or that. And
that's something wonderful about OBS is Stream Deck has they already have that set up.
Correct.
They don't for StreamYard.
Yep.
And you can really get out there and do stuff. I think Cole uses it, doesn't he? Tri-State, isn't that OBS?
I'm not sure that.
And then he has a lot of different plugins that track his super chats and stuff.
And then that was what I think Rob's Nerdy Knives was using as well too. It's not crazy. You don't have to be crazy tech savvy, but just you got to know a little bit and just. But there's also plenty of good instructions out there to how to use it. But it's more of a utilitarian type of software. It's not like it's not going to guide you through it. Like here, press this to get this done. You got to kind of know what you're pressing. But
there are very few things you have to link it to your YouTube account. You have to link it to your camera. Most of that's done through your computer anyway. And if OBS has a template to help you find that stuff, it's not that hard. I wouldn't think. I've just never had the time. I don't have the time right now to change to Teespring, which I want to do. I've gotten a shirt sent to me that I liked a lot better than anything that I've gotten from Teespring. Excuse me, Public, I think is what it's called. And now that Lefty went through that, by the way, he got his channel back and his Google account back. They went to him from his Google account first. But after a week of working with their hacker division, he was able to get it back. Now, I don't know if what else he had to go in and change throughout his life after exposing that information, but I'm scared to even hook up another vendor to my YouTube, even though I'd like to get rid of Teespring and have a decent merch, just a few pieces.
You can't live life scared. There's always going to be some data breach
I
of
know.
something. I just got a breach the other day, or notification in the mail the other day about, I think the health. So we had it. Remember, this goes back a while. I told you about how we had a couple of the hospital networks had been hacked and they were being held ransom, and they had all the hospitals shut down. Remember that?
Yeah.
Well, they end up having a complete data breach off of that.
Really?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I did not get that notification, but I know he got it back. So he may have pinged people. I don't know. I just know that that was a scary situation he got himself into. You know about that, right? How it happened? How he
Yeah, but
got an email?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, once he linked into there, he thought everything was good, that they were going to start collecting data, and he went to bed and he woke up. People were saying, "Hey, dude, you're live and you've got some crypto scam going on your channel." And he tried to go in and change his stuff, and he realized then, oh, fuck, he couldn't get his Google in. They'd already changed his two-factor authentication. They changed his numbers, his rescue stuff. And for 2 days, until Jared Neves and Kira reached out to him to hashtag YouTube hack my accounts, or YouTube hack, something like that, that got people to actually get in touch with him. But it still took a week, and he had a really low, he didn't seem stressed at all. He's like, well, worst comes to worst, I'll just start another channel. Because he just started that Lefty Reloaded. I don't think he's gotten it back yet.
There's nothing you can do. There's no point. He can't control it, so kudos to him.
I'll worry about it. Yeah.
Not freaking out about it.
I agree. You can't jump up and down. And
yeah, it's not the end of the world. And that shows you, people think of him as a big player, but that shows you how of a small fish in a big pond the knife community is. YouTube doesn't give two shits about any of the
not at all.
Or any of the creators.
And some of the people that they've recently gone after have been the big ones that they've made examples of, they typically go to other platforms, but they lose so much audience. Because I can tell you, I stream on Rumble every Friday night and usually Tuesdays if I remember to, but it's not good. If you think ads are bad on YouTube, God bless Rumble.
Ads are bad on there if you go back and rewatch something. If you're watching a live on there,
you just get them up front.
The ads are not bad, but if you go back and rewatch them on there, then yeah, you're going to get tons and tons of ads.
But I was getting nervous for a while that a lot of YouTube channels were getting jacked around after the Instagram stuff. And I've learned Instagram stuff, you just have to have a personal account or deal with it, because they can be more judgmental if you're monetizing your posts.
They don't even care about plaques unless you have well over 1 million. You don't even have a contact number or an access point to them. I've known people.
Actually, Metal Complex, remember when he got demonetized about 2 years ago? He had I think over 100 you get a contact, because he was able to contact someone.
Not a direct line. You have a way to contact them, but it's
not. Yeah.
Once you get over 1 million, it's either 1 million or 2 million. I can't remember. You actually have like a person you can reach out to, like, okay, hey, this is Amy. She's in charge of these 100 accounts. So if you need a problem, then you reach out. So
all we have as small creators is a chat that goes to AI usually.
Right. So you can get in contact with them at that point, but I'm talking like an actual, not a personal assistant, but like someone who's in charge of a bunch of accounts to get a hold of. But that's well over 1 million.
So Kyle, yesterday we had somebody bring in a flipperless hinderer recurve that was obviously acid washed and it had a scale job done that matched. pretty well done, and it had bronze hardware. And the owner, the old guy who you've not met, but Shane can tell you about him, he was convinced that it was factory. And I said, well, I don't know. It's definitely a Triway. I said, but the box just says Triway Recurve XM18 Stonewash on the side of the box. And so we went back and forth. He couldn't find anything on their archive page. So I took pictures of the knife and pictures of the box and uploaded it to ChatGPT and asked me if it was a factory modification. Dude, you would not believe what ChatGPT sent me back. Why it was not. Why the tang was cut at a different angle. I don't know where they found the information. And how the color does not match, and their custom shop does not do variations like that. It was, and he didn't believe it, of course, either. And when Tate came in today, because he was off yesterday, he said, no, it's not factory. They won't do a custom color for you if you call them and say, hey, I want a light battle black wash.
No, but some of their dealers, and they have certain dealers like USMA Blade who do exclusives in different colors.
Correct, but you couldn't read the blade steels or anything off the blade, and maybe the special treatment did that.
Yeah, that's just a hard acid wash then. But you should be able to tell if it's a flipper delete off of the angle, and also where, if it's exactly flush. Because there are a few people that can do it to factory spec, but not a lot.
It was done very well.
What's up, Yoda? What's up, Kevin?
Kevin,
yeah, but that doesn't necessarily make it any less valuable if it's not factory.
No, it's just funny because he's very pedantic. Regardless of what it is, you'll never have a debate with him and change his mind. So I don't even take the time. He got a good deal because he bought that. I'll tell you what he got, a knife that I had that I traded with Peter, or I traded with Justin, OCD for EDC. It was a SOG big SE folder, S35VN, as big as any cold steel. And this one you could middle finger flick, but it was kind of coyote colored. He traded for that, a Microtech, and that particular knife for a couple of Microtechs. And there was something else he traded for.
So it was a flipperless
recurve,
flipper delete recurve, 3.5 inch.
Yep, black scale. It had bronze hardware that looked like a hardware kit.
G10 scale?
Huh?
G10 show side?
Yeah.
What blade steel?
20 CV.
If you paid more than $300 for it, it was not a good deal.
He didn't, but the guy that bought it said it was $825 from Hinderer when he bought it several years ago, which means nothing.
Well, that's bullshit too.
But no, I don't think he paid that much more for it because they don't pay out. It's just, it was a trade kind of deal. And I didn't see the other couple of knives that were in there. Because I walk away when they start talking that shit.
If I meant to sell it for more than $300, so he would have had to buy it for like $2.25. The market on
no,
those
it'll sell for a lot more. That Battlefield pickup down there is sitting down there at $1,100.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane. They're not going to sell at that price.
They sold the other one for that.
That's insane. That people don't do their research, because that's absolutely insane. The market's not there for
those. They do their research before they buy them. Okay. Tate goes and he looks at what the low sale was on eBay, and he looks at other places too, but he looks at closed, completed sales. And I don't know how he values each of these knives, because the two Battlefield pickups were both Spantos, but they had different prices on them.
I guess the market they're going after is different, because they're not the people who are looking, that are collectors or huge fans of those, aren't looking on eBay. They're looking
You're right.
At groups. They're looking at, local.
Good point.
So where your price points are never going to be what they are on eBay. That's astronomical blown. Plus you're paying fees on eBay.
Well, you're right. And you got to think the brick and mortar's looking for a little more return. And they had a bougie guy come down from Tennessee who came back in today who had bought a Koenig Arius for $1,100. I don't know if that's a good price or not. I think you can get them for less than that. But this was
depends on which version. But If it's a basic one with no milling,
No, it was milled.
or
It
that
was
very
milled.
that very light milling. It's not the quarter. I'm talking just the very light milling. Then those, I think table on those is like 750 or 8, and you can get those secondary all day long for 500 or less.
Well, these people Google stuff, so I mean, they're not like, because like, okay, our J capes are between 550 and 625. Flat ground J capes from a swirly, or what's it called, a swerve, to a
And that's
atomic.
that's above. Oh, you're talking not JK. You're talking McNeese.
McNeese, what I say, J cape? I'm sorry, 3.5 Mac 2s.
So table on those is 525 for base, I think, or 550 for base, all the way up to 600 for the highest milling. From
And I
fact,
think that's what they have them priced close to, is table, was what they try to price them at.
so I get that, but
But
why
they
would
buy them for a lot less.
why would someone pay retail for something that's secondary? That's crazy
Because
to
they
me.
don't like to, because they don't
No,
like
I'm saying
to,
as a consumer, why would you go there and pay retail for that versus secondary? It's not rare. It's not something you can't get.
because I think the people that come in there, these engineers, these white collar buyers that are buying stuff like Microtex, that are gun guys, aren't online savvy. I don't think they know where to go outside of the big websites. Because I've told so many people that have come in and we've passed on their knives. I was like, have you ever heard of Blade Bench? I hate to say that, but eBay, everybody's heard of. And they're like, no. And I was like, look, you can list your knives on there to sell. You've got a bunch of knives if you're just trying to get cash. And I'm not a Blade Binge. They don't do anything for me, but that's a place where I've tried to sell knives. They might put some more up there, to be quite honest with you, because I can go down there and Knives and More right now is full. I mean, they can't take on a lot more knives.
So going back to like the Hinder, I've not seen a battle pickup sell for more than 850 in the last year and a half.
The one we sold was about that price, and the one that's 1150, there's something unique about it, but it's got like a dark, dirty Tiffany blue scale G10. It's all factory. It's not part of a card group or anything like that. I don't know why it's more.
Yeah, if you
I know that there was a reason that Tate put more into that, and I'm sure he didn't put that many more hundreds into it, but for him to mark it up and let it sit there, because I said, for one, we had those SE Sencillios, which is a really slicey SE fixed blade, and they're about $100 more than they are on Blade HQ. And I told them that, and they were like, well, if somebody comes in and they want us to match a price, we will. And that day, dude, somebody came in and bought one of those knives sight unseen for what it was listed at, $289. Because
I get that, but I would rather sell volume and not do that to somebody. That's against my conscience. But so speaking of card series, I'd have to go back and look. I saw a card series sell recently within the past couple months for, it was 1,000 or less.
the market's gotten very soft right now.
That's my point. Is so even on render or Hinders, there are like you would not pay. It's silly to pay more than three and a quarter for a G10, even with upgraded hardware right now. There's so much potential out there for sellers. It's a buyer's market big time.
Absolutely.
And to pay table on anything second hand is like the only thing you pay table for second hand right now, if you actually out there searching for something, is crazy, either customs or
Lamia's.
even though those are going below table, even on some of those. But a lot of those knives that are hyped up, like Oz's, still get close to there. What's up, Teener? But a lot of those knives are going way below table. Like it's crazy what people are. I don't know why people think they can sell a used item and get table prices on something that's not rare. Like it does. And no other industry are you doing that. You're not going and buying a baseball bat saying, oh, I barely used it. It's basically brand new. I'm going to sell it for retail if it's not something that's super rare. No, of course not. You're not doing that with anything.
I wonder if it comes from the fact that his store is built around case, and case is so unique when it comes to that they don't go down in value.
I'm not talking about just John. I'm talking about like this community in a whole. Like you look at people when they post stuff again, specifically like we talking about with Blade Binge. It's hilarious what people think like you're going to get for something. Why would you? You're putting a CBB up there for retail. What the hell are you think? Are you? I'm not going to say what I want to say.
Yeah, but like, you can get one on Amazon for within $5 and pay shipping. And if you got Prime, you're not paying shipping a lot of times.
The point is, it's that whole, I know, again, what Tina said, I know what I got thing, that whole mentality. It's crazy. It's like, you don't have anything worth anything. Like, if you take basically anything that's not above $300 and it's secondary, you basically cut it in half.
Right. That's the way I price things.
Just from the very get. And if you don't, then you may get someone to buy it, but you're gonna sit and wait on it forever till you find that right sucker. Because it's absolutely silly.
And that's one of the things that the old guy at Knives and More challenged Tate early on when they met. He says there's a buyer for every knife, and he challenged Tate one of the years he went to Blade Show to find the most unsellable knife he thought he could find and bring it back to the store. Just don't spend over X. And he'd prove to him that there'd be a buyer for it. What's up, Ryan? And there was a buyer for it. Let's just look real quick at Blade Binge.
What's up, Brown Sugar?
I'm curious.
What's up, Robin? Mr. Ellis?
Ryan, you got a link, brother. You and Shane both do.
I just meant that the people that think that their stuff is worth
like this right here,
X amount.
I can buy that for close to that on Amazon.
Right.
I mean, it's like new.
I'm talking about, so I've even seen it in like some of the Discords, people putting stuff up for close to retail and acting like they're giving you a bro price. It's like, it's a Chinese OEM knife that's not worth 50% of what you're asking for it. Like, where do you think that that's a deal?
And that is retail right there for a Flatanium beef.
Yeah.
Buyer pay shipping, but yeah, I mean it's hard. And so where are these great deals? Because I know they're not on Blade Binge. I know they're not on.
They're on, like, occasionally you can get something off of Blade Farmers, but it's very old buddy duddy. You can get stuff off of Knife Swap. You can get stuff off of groups. You can get stuff off of
like Facebook groups.
Yeah, I'm not on Facebook, but I know a lot of people that's what they use it for.
Like, isn't that expensive for a Jaeger? $375 for a Jaeger M?
V3. That's
V3.
That's close to. And they went from like 370 to 400. Depends on the model. 4.25 depends on the model.
That was 4.25. Let's say they took $50 off. And that's just.
Yeah, I mean that is a little high for what they're going for in the market right now. I've seen them like 3.25 up to 375. But I don't think that's
it's crazy.
That's not a good deal. The ones that are holding the value more are the V2s. Those are holding value more than the V3s. The V2s are going 250 to 300 pretty consistently, and they were a lot less new.
I wonder which version I've got.
You got the 2.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Ours is about $50. We've got this exact knife, that exact pattern, except ours is a flat.
Okay, so for instance, Mac 2 3.5, they are pretty readily trading for 3 to 4.25.
So that's not terrible. It's just a little high.
I would not put it this way. I would not pay more than 4.25 for one secondary right now. You can get plenty of options of them at 4.25.
What do Talons go for?
750. Oh, new? I think they're right around 9 to 1,000.
Yeah, this is 1,049 for this one. Never cut or carried.
I mean, that's great. I understand it all, but you have it's a depreciating asset. You're going to take a hit. Now, Hawks are one of those kind of like Oz's and stuff. They hold value better than others, but the talent is already kind of past its prime, its peak. So it's not gaining more than retail right now on those. Not more than table, I should say.
But see, this is egregious to me. A Vosteed Mini Raccoose for $240.
Well, when you said Vosteed and $240, that's ridiculous.
Well, some of their knives,
I don't care what it is; it's not worth it.
Yeah, I know, but some of them when they're new and they cost the same as these. But I see what you're saying. Here's a Mini Goblin for $670. Is that a good price?
It's a little high. I've seen those as low as $4.25 and as high as $6.
Is there a knife called a Poquito tuna?
Pokilo, yeah.
Pokilo tuna, yeah. My buddy A to Z bought a Pokilo tuna from here. He buys knives off Blade Binge quite often.
That is the most. I'm not saying they make a bad knife, but I think that is the most egregious brand ever. The fact that it's a Chinese-made knife.
Aren't they really expensive?
They're not hiding it, and they're very expensive.
I'm gonna pull it up and see what it.
Tad, what's up, dude? Absolutely, everyone thinks theirs is worth more.
Dark Gravity, dude, dude? I'm sending you a link. I miss Dark Gravity. Hey, Dark Gravity, guess where I'm working part-time? I think I told you.
I do too. I miss old Daddy Gravity.
Hey, he's got some 550. Yeah, that is egregious. But CKF, dude.
That's not on their high end either. That's like middle of the road for them. They go out into the threes and all the way up into like close to 1,000 or more. That may have one like full dress that's well over 1,000, but I mean, just
that looks like it's just got a Damascus clip,
right? So that's the other issue I have with CKF. I love a lot of their designs; they're very well made, but they're Chinese and they're also OEM by a clone maker, and I don't see value in them anymore. If you can pick one up on the secondary for 35-40% off, then yeah, I think it's a great deal. I personally just don't see value in them anymore. They make phenomenal knives. I had an Evo and I loved it. I can't put myself in that position. I'm about either getting something that I have to have because it is sentimental or something that is value. I don't want to go out and buy something that is hyped up and pay exorbitant price for them. It's never going to be worth that. That is hilarious, Dawson.
That is funny.
But yeah, CKS they make a phenomenal knife, but at the end of the day, it's OEM by Kevin John. And I don't want to support that or pay that. I think that's
going against the principles that you hold dear, which are understandable.
That, and it's a value proposition. It doesn't make sense. Because when
you see more and more, we can go to White Mountain Knives right now, and you'll see some crazy price shit, crazy high. And I don't know if it's tariffs or if it's brands. The brands I don't know about.
The tariffs are not driving a huge factor in shit right now. That's overhyped.
I would think not either. But hey, this guy came down from Tennessee today, and he had a Wee knife, a real big Wee knife that he just got, and it had an interesting lock. Are y'all familiar with that? It locks from a little thing right under the flipper tab, pushes back, and I've never seen anything like it.
No, I haven't really.
I was surprised from a guy from Tennessee who has a Wee knife. He's the same guy that bought the $1,100 whatchamajob Koenig, and he was down there looking at knives. So he's somebody who's evidently tied into somebody who's selling Wees. I would think the internet. Let's see if I can find one of these brands.
Jeffrey knows I stand on my shit. I don't
No,
care.
and that's refreshing because I need to learn some of this stuff. I know like Pyrotech is way overpriced. I've always thought that about them.
I like Damon and Kay. I think they're nice
Great
people
people.
from the interactions I've had with them, but their business model and their company structure and their products are insanely priced.
And I wonder if they're selling any. That's the whole thing. I mean, I know
They-
Metal Complex gave a good review. Like, here's a
They
Boston
they
for
got they got
$2.99.
yeah,
That's crazy.
that's insane. Well, you know the reason why that's happening is because we allowed that to happen, and we started letting Louise get up into the 400s. So then these companies think, oh, well, I can do it too. I don't care. Like I'm not paying that for it. I don't trust what you're making it out of because it's been proven. And if you prove to me that it is what it is, then I'll believe you. But it's not been proven yet. And the fact that they're getting close to the pricing that you're getting from
USA manufacturers.
or even other countries. I mean, if it was Taiwanese, I would think it would be closer because based off of wages paid, it'd be better. But yeah, that's insane.
That's a lot of zircudi, but that's 374 for a KB, which is Kubi.
All right. And how creative is it to change your name from Kubi to KB and rebranding?
No, it's not. But these knives are over 200 and they're very plain. Molasek, I haven't heard of them, but they're not.
There's a new brand that pops up every week over there. They just okay. Think about all the different brands that they've had in the past 7-8 years that have fallen to the wayside. Where do those companies go? They just rebrand as on something different and pop up a year later. Remember Stedman? Remember what was the other one that started with an S that was like that?
Stedman?
Yeah. The Sativian was one. There was but Stedman was there big for a while. Blaze Q went hard on them for a while. And then just rebrand and come up with something different. It's all the same shit.
Yeah, these are crazy to me too. Well, Arcade or Arcform went out of business, right?
Right.
Flytanium picked up their designs. You know who owns Flytanium? I found out.
Blade HQ.
Yeah, Blade HQ.
And Flytanium is Chinese as well too.
Yep. And that's a $325 really thick behind the edge looking rimette that I don't find attractive at all. But there's some in here that are like 500. I was just trying to get to one, and if I don't see it in just a second, and I think it was that.
Mimo, you are 100% right. It's always the flavor of the month based on what is sent to someone. It doesn't have shit to do with what the knife is.
Yeah, but everybody, like if I got a knife that was priced crazy, I did get one that was priced crazy, but I saw the value and bought it. I mean, but still, I can get excited about a budget knife that I wouldn't carry, but I would pay $35 for it. I wouldn't carry it because I don't need to carry it because I've got other knives, but it's a $35 knife that offers value. Where if you send me a $500 knife, I don't see the value in it. Or this $399 fixed blade Fibonacci grind that Gary and I were talking about the other night that I don't see the value in.
There is none. At that price, you can buy a custom knife.
There's a $300 Tucson.
That's atrocious. The fact that they're asking that for it. I don't care what it's made out of.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't think it's Austin as much as it is what he's marking them up. I think he buys them and marks them up based on what they are, but I'm going to get off of here because they do have crazy prices. Now they're Tucson or their TRMs and knives that are always priced right around. I've noticed that White Mountain Knives is basically 10% higher. So that 10% discount you get is not costing them shit.
Yeah, it used to be always they were the same price point as everyone else.
They're not now.
I haven't been on there in forever just because I don't carry anything I want to look at. But they also, the good thing is with the free shipping and free taxes, which made it nice.
Yeah.
That was appreciated. Granted, now
Oh.
okay, so here's the kicker. We say that that's free shipping and free taxes, but it's not. He's still paying that tax. He's still paying for the shipping, but that's built into his margins because Justin's a very cool dude, very nice guy. He does a lot of good work for a lot of different people, right? He's helped a lot of people out, but he doesn't QC his knives, or at least he never used to. I'm not holding to it now, but there for a long time he wasn't QCing a knife. So every knife that came in just sat in the box and got shipped out. If it had a problem,
kind of like a catch and release.
right? If you have a problem, send it back. He'd fix it, right? Or he'd send you another one. Well, that's why you always have ones on the site that would be like, okay, this one's got a blend. This one's got something bad detent. This one's missing a detent ball, and it's $8 off. Because he would try to sell the blims and not worry about whatever. But he didn't have to worry about like the overhead of QCing anything. He just whatever came in, just shipped it out. Didn't care.
Right.
And that's whatever works for him. That works for him. But the fact that you can get away with that makes it more beneficial to offer things like free shipping or free, 10% off to creators or, free tax or whatever else.
Something to bring people in.
That's still getting paid regardless. So it's not like he's special and he can just not pay taxes.
Right. Well, I wonder about him too, because I wonder if he has a place where he can sell knives that get birthdays there. Because I'm sure he's got a lot of knives that have birthdays, right? That they've been in inventory for a time where they start needing to go.
There are wholesalers out there that you can offload used inventory for, but it's the same as like TJ Maxx buying off of, when Dillard's or Lazarus or those where get rid of their stuff that's been sitting there for so long. They buy it for pennies on a dollar, but they'll buy up all your shit for pennies on a dollar and then turn around and try to make a little bit of money off of it. That's
and all it does is freeze up your capital if you've got it or your
correct. And at that point, once you hit, I had a discussion with another maker about this recently. Once you hit a certain date, that product has zero intrinsic value. It becomes a loss leader, and you're losing money by having it sitting on your shelves, regardless of what you paid for it. You need to move it at whatever price you can get for it, just to move room and gain capital to get to your next project.
Very, very valid point.
The Mimo, dude, I fear for you, buddy. It sucks. I used to give you a lot of shit about that, but I was saying that out of caring, honestly. I hope you can find a better route, or if you're not opposed to relocating, then welcome. But yeah, so at some point you have to move product to be able to create the new thing, and you got to have money for that. And having something sit there and saying, oh, well, I paid this much for it, I need to sell it for that much or more, is not cash flow operations. So
that's a fact. You've got to move that stuff out. Walmart does it better than anybody. Mimo, I think they're here too, buddy. It might not be as obtrusive, but I definitely think our country's being toyed with by something. I won't get into details because my details.
We don't need to go into any of that stuff tonight. But what's up, Pretty Fly?
I agree, Mimo.
So there are definitely wholesalers out there that will buy used inventory or even inventory stock like that, but they're paying literal pennies on a dollar. So they're paying pennies on a dollar wholesale. They're not doing it off of retail pricing. So,
right.
X knife sells for $300. He bought it at $150 to $180. They're going to offer him $35 for that knife and try to sell it for $70.
Right.
And they're doing things off of volume, so they don't really care if they're buying it, and it's not the greatest thing or it's not the newest thing, because they're hitting a different target market.
Right.
So.
And I think I'm also getting I'm surprised by how many people buy knives at flea market that they think are legit. I wasn't there yesterday, but a guy came in with like 18 Benchmades, and 3 of them were fake. He swore that they weren't fake. He was going back to the guy that sold them to him. But allegedly they were without doubt fake. One of them, the box was even, you could tell it was a fake. But fake Benchmades are evidently getting really, really good. Not the ones on Amazon. I'm talking about people that are cloning them and selling them for Benchmade prices or right under Benchmade prices. They're not selling them for 40 or 50 bucks where you would think they're a fake.
Richard, over 60, buddy. But we're not going to go there. Yeah, like I've made it very clear. I've got no love lost for clones, and I despise any cloners or purveyors of them. I think it's a disgusting disservice to the original creator and the IP of that technology and that design. Yes, there are a few cases where potentially someone buys something and then wants to check
That's
it
where
out.
one of these came from, Dark Gravity. That's a fact, Jack. But I would think at a flea market, you would have some kind of thought that maybe you're not buying a legitimate product, but I guess not.
Okay, you have to also think about the mindset of the average consumer shopping there. They're not going there going to be spending that much money at full price on a Benchmade. So they're going, oh, okay, great deal, blah, blah. It's like,
right. They're taking advantage of people looking for a deal.
Use that space between your ears.
I got caught up in a too good to be true, probably is online deal that I should have known. I mean, it was sketchy all the way through, but my buying brain was so into it.
The only too good to be true deals are from people that you're close with and they're doing something as a service or as a gesture. If you're just getting a too good to be true deal from a random nobody, more than likely be cautious.
Right. And a bro deal is a different type of too good to be true deal because bros will hook you up.
Yeah.
Gravity, I don't know if you saw my knife and you probably won't be able to see it, but I traded Levi down at the shop for this Viper GEC. I think it's a 75. Is that what 47 or 45? I can't see it. But this is a big knife for a slip joint. That's a full size slip joint. And it's dull. That's what I was trying to think, Kyle. I wonder if I should take it to my little sharpener because I could get it sharp, but I just wonder what that'll do to it. Not my fixed system, but my little rod.
I would not do it freehand if you're worried about the collectability of it.
Would you do it with the fixed? Or
no, I meant no offense on it. I wouldn't. If I were you, I wouldn't do it freehand with the collectability of it.
But would you do it with the fixed angle?
I would feel comfortable doing it that way, or freehand. Either way.
If you were doing it with a fixed angle, knowing it's a slip joint, you change your angle, right? Or do you still do it at 20?
No, I would match what's on there, which I'm sure is probably higher than 20.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's much higher than 20. I just don't know how you check that. I know you do it with a Sharpie.
Yeah. Bugsy, no.
And I was trying to figure out today, why do slip joint guys push their knife open from here or from here? Is that just a tough thing that I've got calluses on my finger? I watched people do it today in our showroom, and I've seen people do it at Blade Show.
Depending upon who's here listening in the chat, I'm going to try to piss them off. It's probably because they're made out of 1095 and they come dull as shit from the factory.
That could be why. I think it was Forrest that found out that Jack Wolf's don't come.
No, that was Nuz.
From the factory. Who was that?
Nuz.
Nuz. It was Snuz. Cool little knife that may be in Sunday's giveaway. This is a Rough Rider Reserve Copperhead that I found. I thought I'd give it away. This is just a great little $70 slip joint. But now that I look at it, it's D2 and it's the same price as a case. His cases really aren't that expensive. This is a slimline trapper. It was more on the expensive side because it's a rare single blade Warncliffe, but it was like $80
Yeah, that's. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, that's dirt cheap. But
for an
again,
American made knife.
but they're also not. They can charge it because they're not using the highest materials. Their QC is all over the board.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you there.
I think
And
it was
one thing,
Nemo had issues with QC and trying to order from. I think he had an issue with Smoky Mountain over that, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mimo.
you know, I've sworn Smoky Mountain off. They're dog shit to me. But the one good thing about a brick and mortar, even though they might charge a little more, and I think for their cases, they're real reasonable, is John does cull them when they come in. So you can not only cull them on the shelf as a consumer, he's culled through them and sent the ones that he doesn't like back to case before they ever make it to the shelf.
Yeah,
So
but
they're all centered.
not every dealer's doing that.
Correct. I ordered 3 Sodbuster Juniors at different times from Amazon, and they were all wonky.
Oh, yeah,
This is a great little knife. I'm really enjoying. I've been carrying it, and I've got a review coming up on it. Simple.
Yeah, that's what it was. Mimo, sorry. I knew it was. I thought it was Smoky Mountain, but there's Knife Center as well too.
Yeah, Knife Center. Smoky Mountain did something egregious in my mind. Knife Center's just unresponsive, and they're too big for me to give a fuck about doing business with. I like the smaller guys, the DLTs, the River's Edge. But usually I don't like a tiny knife.
I brought them out of the woodworks. Hello, Joe.
Who do I miss? Who did I miss?
Joda.
Joda, I was just showing off.
Terry, probably. But they also don't care.
I was just showing off the Trident tree looks so good. Isn't that slick? And I like the blade. I think the blade looks rugged. And this thing is sharp.
Rody, I agree, but they also don't come sharp from the factory.
Which ones are those?
GCs.
No, and you know what else comes very dull are Bokers. I've had 4 Bokers and they were all very dull. But I think slip joints are just kind of a dull thing because if you look at the little stones that they offer with cases, those little short 2x1 stones, I mean, do these knives ever get really sharp?
I mean, you can get them really sharp.
Well, I know, but do these good old guys that are cutting sandwiches and stuff, are they that worried about them getting super, super sharp? Or are they just liking the knife and opening it with their finger?
And a lot of them, I mean, I'll say this about general public. A lot of people don't know what sharp is. So there's a difference between what they think comes out of the factory sharp, but they don't know what it is. What it can be, I should say. Because I've sharpened plenty of GCs for people. And I mean, 1095 can get very sharp, but it's not going to hold it.
What's up, Leon?
I'm not
Do
sure.
you sharpen 1095 with a diamond, or do you use an Arkansas stone?
No, I can pretty much take care of everything off of diamonds or a combination of resin bonded with them.
Yeah.
Bugsy, I appreciate that. I don't have a desire at this given point in time for any new knives, and especially a Chinese production. Not saying that they don't make good ones, but I just don't have any desire for any in my collection right now. So,
Joe, that's true. Because even though we culled through all these little cheetah cubs, this one was by far the best one out of the 4 I picked. It was the most centered, and they were all, none of them were rubbing, but they all do vary, and being able to look through them makes a difference. Isn't that Kieranite just hideous? If I'd have waited, I could have gotten a seafoam green today.
Yeah, that would have been better. I don't like Kieranite. Kieranite looks cheap to me.
Me too. And it was a little cheaper. But
No,
it
looks cheap, like as in gaudy.
There's a red micarta variation coming out in a carbon steel that I'm tempted to get, but I don't know if I even want to get into thinking about collecting slip joints again because I picked up 3 very recently.
Tad. Yeah,
And that's
I mean
what made
that,
money.
that works. That's the great thing about it is just you can do them on those, but I don't. I guess I don't want to go backwards when I can do what I can with what I got. So
But I think there's a place. I think Tad's right because hey, he's not a sharpener like you are, but he does believe, and he doesn't talk about carbide tear out. He just thinks that carbon steels feel better and it's easier to find the bevel. He says on a softer or a hard Arkansas stone than on a diamond. It's more intuitive of keeping your angle. I don't know why that is.
yeah, anytime you're on the soft stone, you're going to get more feedback and you're going to feel the angle better. But that also leads to more wear and dishing of the stones, which
Correct.
means more stone maintenance. I mean, that's in general with all whetstones are that way. Um, the harder the stone, the more of a true feed grind you can get, but it's going to give less feedback. So I completely agree with that. If you want more feedback, then go with a softer stone. There's nothing wrong with that. I just don't see the need when I'm not. And this is not again. This is for what people want to do. What they want for what they enjoy doing. I'm looking at it as a time thing. Why do I want to spend more time doing something? Because I'm not doing it for myself for fun. I'm doing it for people. So
In
I'm not
dark
going to.
gravity, my dad would sit back in his study. He had a little Arkansas stone. He put a little oil on it. He'd have a glass of scotch, and I think he was doing it for therapy too. He wasn't doing it to whip through and get it sharp. He was just getting quiet time, and he liked the sound of it going across that stone. I got my ass worn out for fucking with a knife when he was sharpening it.
Yeah, and like I was saying, I mean, if he's doing it for fun, that's totally different than what I'm doing it. I'm not. I don't want to waste more time doing it when I can do it faster and just as good, if not better, on a different type of stone. So
You don't
that
feel like you need as coarse of a stone to start with the slip joint, or do you? If you were going to be working a slip joint, would you work it the same progression as you would a modern folder, just at different angles?
it depends on what I'm doing with it. If I have to lay it back or if I have to adjust it,
Just sharpen it on its factory angle because it came dull.
I don't necessarily have to go all the way to my coarsest stone. But if I'm in the mood, then I will. If I just want to knock it out quick, then I will. Because I'm going to do a stone progression anyways. I'm not going to do a one and done. So
Right. Because, yeah, that makes sense.
So if I can get past my first stone, which obviously is my most important stone, quicker, that saves me more time because the following stones in the progression are only thing they're doing is cleaning up and refining that scratch pattern. They're not actually doing any more cutting than what I was before. So if I start at 240 versus starting at 120, all I'm doing is taking more time.
Dark Gravity, I wish you'd been on the lives, dude. You have to come sit in. I've learned so much about the people that come in and buy knives. I've still had to this day 0 people ask me about HRC. And when I'm showing them 8 different bug outs that we have down there, and they're asking me why their price difference, and I say this one's S90V, and they're like, "What's that?" And these are engineers. They just don't get it. And a lot of people come down there, and we sell a lot of buck 110s, 120s. Bucks are very popular down there, as are cases. But modern knives, Spydercos are very popular. Microtechs are amazingly popular. And people that buy those are not knife enthusiasts like we are. I mean, I feel like I'm a knife lover and I still love my Microtechs, but the people that are coming down there to buy them are buying them because they saw a John Wick movie. They're usually in a tie and khakis that are pressed, and they're going to carry it. It's weird, the reality of the people that buy stuff.
Yeah. So a couple things. Pretty Fly, without seeing how deep it is, I don't know how to. I got an idea, but send me a picture of it. I can tell you better how to attack it because it depends on how deep that bulge is or slash roll. Then you may have to get aggressive with it, or you may not be able to. I'll be able to tell you, Terry. I often do those either in hand or on Shapton's, unless it is something that is specific that needs to be accurate. Then I'll still do it on a single um, clamp.
What I was thinking about, Kyle, was just using my little Swiss Army knife stone and just doing it real soft and slow on that.
I mean, you can. It just I don't know how comfortable you feel on doing it by hand, and I just wouldn't. I don't want you to do it to a collectible and regret doing it if you mess something up. That's all.
I think you're exactly right. I mean, that's very valid. And Joe, you're smack on. I mean, a lot of these guys will even mention that I couldn't, if somebody gave me that knife, I wouldn't feel comfortable if I knew how much it costs using it, because they use them and they sharpen them. I've seen griptilians come up there where they literally sharpen the blade 3/4 of the way, and now they're ready to think about trading it. I mean, the blade doesn't even look like a griptilian blade anymore. But these people use their knives and they use them to cut straps. They use them to cut everything. And it's, you know, part of me says it's good to see. Now, a lot of the case buyers, especially these old codgers, God bless them. I mean, hell's going to be full of people trading case knives. I'm just here to tell you. But these guys are buying them, putting them up for some, after they're dead, somebody to come sell them back to us. That's what I think about how a case knife in a lot of people's circle goes. Now, in some, they're very thoughtful present. I had a young guy come in last week and he was buying a case knife. He knew nothing about case knives, but he thought he wanted one with 2 blades. He was very particular about that, and asked him what he was getting the knife for. And he's got in 6 months, he's having his first son, his first child. And he wants to give him a case knife every year. And I thought, what a great tradition. Is that something that you learned in your childhood? And he's like, no, I just think it's a cool tradition. And I'm thinking to myself, where does a yuppie guy who works in a obvious white collar, he pulled up in a Tesla, come in looking at a case to do an annual giver for his son, and he's not even a knife guy? To me, knives mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. And that's cool, because you do meet a lot of different people if you spend 4 hours a day in a knife store, all kinds.
So here's a story. Yesterday, my grandma came down to bring me she made some pre-prepared meals and food. She loves to cook. And that's like that's her hobby and that's her enjoyment. She likes to cook for people. So I sharpen her knives occasionally when she needs them. And she has these old beat up knives that are complete, what quote unquote, what we would call crap nowadays, right? But she's had them forever and absolutely loves them. And she still thinks they're sharp even when she brings them to me. But she goes, but they're not sharp like you can make them. So, you know, I'll do 4 or 5 of them for her, but she mainly uses these 3 ones. And she said she bought all 3 of them as a set, because I was talking to her yesterday about them. She said she bought all 3 as a set in, I think, something in 1960 something from Sears. And they're not made well. The handles aren't great, but they just don't die. And they're not great cutting geometry. They're not sharp. They're not great steel. But she has just used them forever, and they fit her hand well, and she absolutely loves them. And that's what
part
she
of her
uses.
cooking culture now. I mean, she reaches for those knives.
Yeah, I mean, I even a couple of years ago, I bought her a kitchen knife for Christmas, and she appreciated it, but she doesn't use it. So she's a culture. I mean, she's used to what she's had, and it's became like a culture to her of, you know, this is what I use when I cut this. This is what I use when I cut that. And it's funny how I'm the one who pushes performance and best case, but some people just like what they like. And that's great for a lot of people out there. They don't have to have the latest and greatest, which I'm all about.
And I think it's interesting you say that because I wonder how much of that spills over into these guys who are asking for 1095 and asking for these big blades to be made out of steels that we're like, why are makers still using that? And I wonder if it's because their customers are just comfortable because the granddad used it.
Of course. And some of that also too is they have a following for it and they don't like change. Joe, you would. She's a good old girl. And she can cook like crazy too.
That's a huge bonus. That's going to make me hungry. Quit talking about food.
Oh, dude. Okay, she's 92. And she just drove down here 35 minutes from her house just to bring me food because she got bored and wanted to cook. And she still, last summer, she still entered, she did makes like, she makes everything from scratch. And she still does, as a local, at her county fair, she enters every year for different contests, you know, for winning stuff. And she's won like the last 10 years straight for her angel food cakes.
And I bet everything's done from scratch.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, as authentic as you can get.
Yeah.
Tate, the guy I work with, traded for the first time I've ever seen it, a fully serrated, older Microtech. And it wasn't the Ultratech. It was that big one, the big thick one, not a Troodon, but God, I can't think of what it's called. I'll think of it in a second. But I asked, what would you want a serrated blade for? And he said to cut people. I mean, on a Microtech like that, that's really, I guess, what it's designed for.
What's up, Cody?
Cody.
Yeah, I mean, so the weird thing about serrations is they're just big teeth that are on. I mean, all blades are serrated, technically. Even when you have a finely sharpened apex, it still has serrations in it.
Micro teeth.
So that's what gives you bite. And that's why I talk about when I teach sharpening is it's not so much about raising that burr and creating the burr. You have to create and get that scratch pattern even so you know that it is uniform across there. Then the most important part is the honing process and getting rid of that burr. So all you're really doing is realigning that apex to where those microscopic teeth are lined up perfectly together. And you're not having jagged across there. And by doing that correctly and not going straight to a strop, by honing it first, you're realigning that edge and you're getting rid of any of those deep gashes or deep serrations, so to speak. And you can get a much finer edge, but still has bite. And that's why you also jump from, if you hone it very well, you can jump from that to a very low micron strop to get rid of that last little bit because you're not tearing anything off of those little micro serrations. You're actually just realigning them even more, getting to the point where they're very fine. So you retain the bite. Technically, you would think you would go to a higher grit to maintain bite, but all that does is it takes those little micro serrations off that burr and rips them. So they don't become even, they become like jagged.
Like mini rolled almost going each way.
You're getting less teeth by going to a coarser strop. So hone correctly and then go to a fine strop and you get much, much better edges. That's what I've been trying to promote for the last year and a half, 2 years. And there's actually science behind it because I've been testing that for longer than that. But there's a guy in Europe who has it under a very, very high microscope that has shown and proven all that in papers. So that he's written. It's a cool process to actually see what you know come to actual kind of fruition. Like, you know, there's a lot of shit that I've said on here, John, that probably just went over your head, but then Gary comes on and says it and it clicks, or someone in the chat clicks forward and they're like, oh, I learned that. It's like, yeah, I said that a year and a half ago, but it just, for some reason, someone new or whatever, it clicks, and that's the, you know, the deciding factor of why, or it comes from someone that they are not used to hearing. So it all makes a difference.
A lot of times it comes to, I have a hard time just tuning in. And a lot of times when you're giving great information, I'm listening, but I'm also trying to make sure no more questions are coming up. So I'm never fully tuned in.
I wasn't blaming you. I'm just saying, like, in general, that's kind of how it works. Is when you hear it from a new aspect, sometimes then it may click, or you may hear it a different way. Videos and these pumper or the singer.
Is that always what was, I saw somebody doing that? Was Kyle? You should have. It was a different video though.
Yeah, that's.
I know
cool.
it wasn't Gary showing a video. I'm sorry, I didn't see Nees's.
I didn't see it either, but yeah, that depending upon how it's heat treated, that can happen. Doesn't always happen, but it can happen. Tad,
if you popped it off with your finger, wouldn't you be more likely to jag up your teeth than if you finished it up with a hone? I know that's kind of silly.
I mean, technically, yes, but you can also, when you're honing it, you can get pieces or a big long strand of that bird to come off while you're honing it. It'll just come out and lay gently on your
stone.
But again, doesn't always happen. It just happens sometimes. Depends on how there's a lot of factors that go into that. It's not just, is it a good heat treat?
Do you think it really comes down to you got to sharpen and keep sharpening knives to get better?
Yeah. I mean, you get the more reps. Put it this way, it's like anything. The more reps you get in doing it correctly, you will get better. If you're doing tons of reps and you're doing it poorly, you're not going to get any better. It's doing perfect practice makes perfect.
See, that's what's got me so frustrated is I don't know. I mean, you diagnose what I'm doing, but I'm consciously trying to focus on doing that, not doing it, and don't feel myself doing it. So I don't know if I've got a bad habit that I'm not identifying with, and continuing to sharpen is not going to help me. The tape works,
John. It could be if that works, then stick with it. I mean, just because someone needs a crutches to walk doesn't mean you have to tell them to walk on their own. Like,
yeah, but I want to learn, dude. The
I understand.
Point is, figure it out.
It could be as simple as the angle you're sitting at, or if your table's wobbly, or it could be a lot of different factors. Like, I lock mine down. I actually have F clamps that I even though this base is heavy as shit, I still mount it to my table and lock it down on my table, so there is no movement at all.
So you've got it perfectly fixed.
Correct. Like, I can actually put on, like, a hold with pressure and push on that, and this will barely move. And I'm putting pounds of torque on that. I'm saying, I'm not that I do that all the time, but I'm saying I could. That's how rigid that setup is. If you're pushing and that's moving up and down like that, you could very easily go up on that, off of that stone.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I'm sure, because I'm not on a good surface, I could be on a much better area to sharpen. I just don't have the space. I'm kind of set up.
You wish it was you, buddy. Yeah, I mean, here, I got them running. I grab one under my table. Yeah, I keep these under my table. Just a big old Jorgensen. I got a Bessie F clamp, and I actually just clamp it to my table, and my table is pretty sturdy as well too. Like, it'll move a little bit. Like, I'm pushing out pretty hard right now, and it's moving a little bit. But
when you're normally sharpening, it's not going to move.
Yeah, and once this is locked to the table, that thing doesn't move. And hey, Drizzy, what's up, dude? Todd,
dude,
you know I got a package coming your way. You want a surprise in there? You think Customs will let a turd come through? The ability for little errors to adjust like that can be, like I said, as simple as that. The table moves, or your head's at a weird angle. You have to find what works for you. But being able to diagnose what's going on and then trying to fix it will make things better. Just going on doing the same thing over and over, expecting it to be a difference, is insanity.
That's insanity, right? That's doing the same thing over and over. I think at least I'm getting better because I've only got it showing up in a couple of places on the blade. Still frustrating when you see it at all, when you're convinced you haven't caused it. But I'll get it figured out. I might just stick with the tape. I mean, it's only if I clean my stones after each sharpening, I'm not really wearing my stones anymore by rubbing it through that tape. Or I just feel like it might gum them up.
If you keep them clean, it doesn't matter.
I do
I
that
mean,
after every sharpening. I bartender's friend and soap and water, or keep them clean.
Then that'll keep it out of the gumminess out of the pores as far as the tape residue. You should be fine. And then, maybe once a year, because you don't sharpen a ton, maybe once a year, just condition them.
Yeah. I've got the kit to do that with my little plexiglass plate, my Blade HQ $45 purchase when I was buying shit that I didn't need, but comes in handy.
Okay, pretty fine.
The video of the knife I was talking about.
Let me take a look. Let's see. Hang on, I'm gonna mute myself so I can hear this real quick, and then I'll come back.
I want to show y'all something that'll be on an unboxing in the next day or so. This came with some CJRBs. And this, when I opened it up, I learned is the Dylan Mallory design. This is a $50 aluminum and G10 Droma. And it's a Dylan design. It doesn't have a flipper or front flipper. His are all just finger flick. But I was really stoked to see a sub $60 knife from Dylan's table. It's called the Droma. And I've got a video unboxing with this and a couple of other sub $40 knives. Liner locks. This Fugly is a front flipper. I think it's $35. Lastly, I forget what this one's called, but I really like the shape of this blade.
All right, Pretty Fly. I got two things for you. If you're talking about the one that's like about 1.5 inches back from the tip, just right there at the corner of the belly, that to me looks like a pretty good size roll. It's hard to tell from the video. Is that a stonewash finish? Because what you might be able to do is actually hone it like you very, very low angle flat and roll that roll technically completely back up to the apex and then sharpen it. And by that, let me show you what I mean. Because the point where I'm talking about on his is it's like right here on his knife, and it's a pretty good size roll, right? So what you could do is you could start off on a higher grit, so like a 1,000 grit or higher, and try to lay that very, very. So let me do it this way so you can see the angle. So instead of, if this was your normal angle, go very, very shallow and try to literally pull that roll across the blade. The reason why I asked what the finish was is because you don't want to go too crazy, because then by going flat like that, you're actually rubbing the stone on the finish. So it could make it a mark there. But what that will do is that'll pull that roll back to the apex to where that bulge is gone. And then you just resharpen the entire edge and re-apex it. It's the same principle of you could go high and do it high as well too, like super high, but then you're just going to roll the entire edge. And I don't think you're going to get enough. You're not going to get enough pressure going high to get that. If you went low, you're going to get more of that because it's a pretty good sized bulge.
Are you just trying to straighten it out as best you can before you take a stone to it and put it in a system?
What I'm saying is basically you're trying to get that roll to get closer to an apex, and then you can resharpen it, versus trying to just resharpen. You're going to have to go all the way up to where that bulge was.
I got you.
If you can get that rolled back a little bit closer to the apex, then sharpen it.
You're not having to sharpen as much.
Yeah, but if he's going with that's why I said go with a high grit stone. It may take a little bit, but it looked like it was a stonewash finish. So depending upon the finish, it may not may not scratch it too bad. You just have to be very careful and test it. Without, I mean, worst case scenario, when you're done, you could just re-stone wash it before you put an edge on it. But that would get you in a better position than having to take all that steel off. So
And
hopefully that made sense. If that doesn't make sense, reach out and I'll try to explain it more. But all you're doing is taking that bulge of that roll and trying to take it from where it sticks out like this on the belly to getting it more in line as an apex. Oh, it's polished. Okay, I couldn't tell with the lighting. Sorry, but yeah, I mean, you could definitely repolish it. But if you started with a fine stone, then it would not be nearly as bad. But it's still going to leave scratches if it's polished. So yeah, you could also try to start it off on a strop, but it's going to take freaking forever with that, as big as that is. Because if you tried to sharpen that out, I mean, you're going to take a ton of steel off. So I think your best bet is try it that way first, at least, and save some of that knife. I try to treat it as if you can save the steel, save the steel. Not that you don't have enough on it, but it's always better on a sharpening or refinishing of a knife to save as much of the original steel.
This is a practice. Yeah, I would think so. Shady, I've got this weekend, I'm trying to just catch up on some single. I always feel like a lot of people don't, but I feel like doing a single overview on a knife with sizes and stuff is fair for somebody who sends it to me. So I've got several of those things to do, but I do have a fixed blade, a top 5 of 2026 so far that I'm going to make. I've just got to fill in a couple of gaps, but I can tell you guys without a shadow of a doubt, this has been the most pleasant surprise of any knife I've received in a very long time. This Swift 6 by Lynch Blades, Lynch Northwest. Crew wear, just an absolute banger. They're in stock at DLT or River's Edge. And it's just a small, little 6-inch slicer. I carry it in my back pocket and I'm just a fan. I love the TRM. It's very, very slicey. And it's good and small. It's a 3-finger knife for me, which is perfect. Dedicated 3-finger little knife. But that's what I tell people. It even says it on their marketing pages. You know, some tools are designed to lead and some are designed to tag along. This is a secondary carry. I don't think Les envisioned it to be a primary knife, but it's so good. And they're very affordable for what they are, in my opinion.
Okay, here we go. Pretty fly. So let me see if I can show you better so it makes sense. So normally, as you're stropping, you're going to get your angle, right? So if this is my normal angle, so like if I'm there, that's my stropping angle, right? Well, if I go too high, if I raise my wrist and I go high on that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll that edge because it's too high, okay? What I'm trying to do is, because you have that big bulge, it's closer to the spine than it is the apex. So by going, instead of going high, go low, you're actually going to run higher up the blade than you would by going standard, okay? So by going low, then you can pull, as you're honing it, you're pulling that bulge back closer to the apex, getting rid of that roll, okay? Then once you have it very close, and that it's not huge, then you can reprofile it. But if you just reprofile to start, then you're going to have to take all that steel all the way to the top of that bulge off of there.
Where you might be able to pull some of it back.
Correct. I'm trying to save as much of that steel as possible. So if you pull most of that back and get that roll back, then you have to reprofile it. It won't have to go nearly as high. It won't be as compromised.
Greg Vanderlip, what's up, brother?
Hopefully did that make more sense? If not, I'll show another angle. I mean, and I'm doing this. I want you to get it. I don't want I'm not saying that you're not understanding. I want you to make sure that you understand what I'm getting at. So
I'll make you big and you can show that high versus low because I understand what you mean. Because if you get it just right where you would, it'd be where it'd cut in going the other way. So if you lower that.
So let's do it this way. So if here's my angle, it's hard to do sideways, but if this isn't exactly right, but say this is my stock angle, okay? Let me try to get my hands out of the way. If that's my, damn it. If that's my stock angle, right? If I go too high, that's going to roll the edge all the way across. If I go low, where not quite flat, but almost flat, and as I pull across it, it's going to take that roll, that bulge, and pull that closer to the apex. Then you can reprofile it. But if you were to do it at normal, it's just going to pull it a little bit. And if you go too high, it's just going to take the very top of it. It's not going to get all the way from the top of the top of the bulge, the roll, all the way down to the apex. So I'm trying to save as much of that steel for you as possible. Because if you just go to sharpen it, you're going to take all that all the way off the top.
Just to get to the bulge, if you can pull that bulge back a little bit, you can probably minimize a good bit of that.
I'm a absolute shit drawer, so it's hard for me to even think about how I could draw it to show you better. That's why I was trying to show on the strop.
Paul, that's awesome, buddy.
Okay, exactly. So that's kind of what I was getting at too. Being that it's a full hollow, you could reprofile it and still maintain some geometry, but I'm trying to get you so where you're not losing most of the benefit of that hollow by having to sharpen so much. It's not necessarily, it's not a Scandi. Trying to think of a better way to show you. Give me a second. Think of it. John, you keep talking and I'm going to see if I can't think of something to show.
Think of that. And I'm going to show a couple of other fixies. One of my favorites. But like I say, I'm working on a handle and a potential collaboration with one of my favorite makers. But this fret, it's not for everybody. But if you like to cut cardboard and you like to cut into EDC stuff and you're just looking for a really tall, flat round blade, this is a great knife. I think Shane knocked out of the park. When I drew it, it was not this unique. It was much more non-practical. Shane really brought this knife to make it where it fits me perfectly. I've got a 3.5-inch hand, but really like it. And I got mine crowned at Knives and More, which is a really easy process I learned. And I got it stone washed just because I wanted to see how that worked up there. Comes with tactical leather cherry sheath. Not like this one, but a black and brown one. It's very nice, made just like this one. This one just has some upgraded materials and colors. And then my only downside to this knife is I'm scared to sit on it because I'm afraid I'm going to break it. So this is going to be a right pocket carry knife. I know it's just it looks just a very basic bitch knife, for lack of better terms, but Kyle sharpened it. I love it. I love my sheath. So I'm going to do my best knives so far this year. And then $135. Come on, guys. These little knives from Waxwing. For what I cut, cat food, paracord, Amazon boxes, and breaking down cardboard. This is a laser beam for under $140. And I think the nymph and the chitlin, I like the chitlin too. They look very similar. I think the chitlin's got a little shorter blade. And then, of course, my TRM, the one I bought at Blade Shows in PSB 27. This one's in matte DLC coated Magna Cut. And I mean, it is a slicer. A lot of belly on it. You take the scales off, and it has MagnaCut etched in the blade. And then I think number 5 of my top that I've experienced of this year, coming in at number 1, is going to be the Swift 6. I mean, this knife's so freaking good.
All right, I think I got something. Again,
Are you drawing over there?
my drawing is shit, but Pretty Fly, here goes nothing, bud. See if
Let
this
me make
helps.
you big. If you're gonna do school, I'm gonna give you the whole class.
Okay, so this first one, this is the flat line is the stone, and that's the knife, the angle. So say your knife's at 20 degrees in that first one, right? Then the second one, straight up and down, or close to, I'm just saying, it's 40 degrees. It's probably closer to 80, but whatever. And then this one, real shallow, 8 degrees. Well, here's your knife, and there's your bulge right there, right? So by going to the 8 degree and pulling backwards, like, and you're honing it, you're going to take that bulge and pull it down towards the apex, versus if you had to resharpen it, reprofile it now with the bulge, see that dotted line, you're going to have to go all the way up to the top of that dotted line to get past that. Well, if you can pull it down closer to the apex, when you reprofile it, you're not going to have to go up nearly as high. So you'll be able to save a lot of steel off of there. That's what I meant by starting off very low, pulling it back. And then
see if you can move that bulge from that line.
Then you can reprofile it. Tell me if that made any more sense.
Steven, did that make any sense? It does to me, but the only thing I wonder is if it's a kitchen knife, I guess it's going to be easier. The thinner the stock is, the better chances you are to move the bulge, or does that really matter, Kyle?
It shouldn't matter, because the bulge is what is going over the top of the apex. So you're doing is pulling it back regardless of the blade style.
I got you.
What's up, Gareth? What's up, Henry?
Gareth.
And before you ask, Dawson, you're not getting that drawing.
Why does the hand look like an adult toy?
Because my drawing is shit. That's why. And it kind of does now that I look at it. Damn it.
I don't know if y'all remember the Kaiser Militar, but Jonathan Stiles, if I'm not mistaken, designed that. And this is the Serpentine, a little bit bigger. But what's cool about this knife is the way he uses titanium and micarta. So this has got a really thin titanium frame. If you look inside there, you see a lot of weight relief because this micarta sits over where you'd have titanium. Makes for a very, very light knife. This knife is about 160 in L-Max, titanium, Norplex micarta, and a milled clip. And I think it's a great value for what it is. I really like this knife. I did a review on it yesterday, I think. I'm carrying now the Allure. Let me get it out of my pocket. And I'll do a review on it in probably after the weekend. Looks similar, but it's much different. Smaller, different designer, same colorway. But Kaiser's kind of turning it up on the knives I've gotten this year over the ones I got last year.
Bitch. Josh, you're right, dude.
What did I miss?
Nothing.
I'm going up to Josh.
Or, sorry, Pretty Fly.
He's going to look like an adult toy.
No, the one after that, the lines on the paper.
Paper lines didn't help, gave it a head. Place on my fridge. I love it. Good to see you, Stephen Parks. This is a cool knife. It's smaller, but it's harder for me to intuitively middle finger flick, where the other one, my finger just falls in the hole, like she said. But this one's got a really nice front flipper. This one's S45, not L Max. The only thing I didn't like, but I've gotten used to, is this shiny clip. It matches the hardware. I kind of wish it was black and the hardware was black. But I think it's like $150 in S45. Solid knives. And Kyle, I showed you this tactical rescue knife that they came out with that now it looks like a Benchmade.
Yeah, that's hideous.
Well, it's hideous, but what I could see a use, I guess, if I was the kind of person who was looking for, it's got a glass breaker and a clip. I mean, if you had maybe a glove compartment knife, is that what it'd be good for?
Yeah, possibly.
Got a little ceramic glass breaker back here, and kind of reminds me of a bug out with semi-serrations. That's a $50 knife.
We were talking about prices on. I just saw one of those limited ones, the shipwreck of the Mac 2, the one that had like it's nothing. It's not shipwreck like copper. It's shipwreck like it has like skull and crossbones on it or whatever.
Yeah, that pattern.
Yeah, $375.
Really, 3.5 inch.
Yep.
User or pretty good. I mean, it's like any other one you see, probably like new.
Solid shape.
I mean, is the market that soft? I guess it is.
Yeah.
If that's what they're selling for,
Yeah, technically it says never cut or carry.
And I didn't realize this. Hollow grinds are more rare than flat grinds. I thought it was the other way around because I'd never seen a flat grind before recently. But evidently he only did hollows in the early ones, and then he went to flat grinds.
Well, certain patterns still do hollows, but it's not all of them.
I wonder I know it's a totally different process to mill the blade, but why you would do some,
well, he was doing flats on some of the, depending upon the handle patterns, what I meant. So like, I don't remember which ones were which, but I know some of them had hollows and some had flats, but they were only on certain patterns. So,
well, he makes a good knife. I don't know how well the Dixon's doing. I know it was a little big for me, and the blade hole was kind of big.
Yeah, I've not handled one of those yet, but they look cool.
What's the CQC7?
That's a Emerson.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you what we've got that I'm surprised hasn't sold. It's been there longer than I have. We've got a ProTech Emerson collab that's got that Punisher guy on the blade. It's a special edition, but it's a chisel ground. Forget what ProTech it is. But I think it's $300. CPM 157. Is that right? I think. But I always thought Emerson stuff sold pretty quickly, especially discontinued stuff. But that one sat there. But I'm not an Emerson guy. I've got that A100, and I never carry it. If anybody's interested, it's no great.
All the market is soft right now, except for something that's brand spanking new or super hard to get.
I'll tell you what seemed to hold their value. What's that? Strix? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, they do okay. They're still going below retail, but they hold it better than
Toyota and Tools. Did I say A100? It's a mini. Let me show it to you. I don't know what I'm up to trade. I just never carry it. And Kyle sharpened it for me.
Yep.
It's a great knife. Super sturdy. Great detent. And I've even got, that's an Emerson clip that I bought, but it's Emerson. What was that, Kyle? I'm sorry.
So I had the full size for a little bit, but I sold mine to Sharif. I picked mine up in the trade.
Yeah, it's been a member for 11 months. Dude, I appreciate you. I really do. I'm a man hug you. It really does mean a lot, guys. I appreciate it. Because when I talk to myself every day and make videos about knives, you've got to really have the interest to make a video, and interest wanes over time. That's why I get excited when something inspires me, when something excites me. And I'll be honest, this $35 Remet with the top liner lock that just ironically operates with a regular liner lock too for 35 bucks. That excited me. I was excited to open it and then review it and find out stuff about it, like that the bottom liner worked and that it was a 14C knife, or it says it is. And the way it looks, I like the look of it. It looks like a stretched out F5.5 to me, kind of.
Thank God, Richard.
And I got excited about several of the fixies I've gotten, but they're few and far between. Because again, you just don't see a lot of stuff that's different out there. That Wii I saw today, I wish I knew the model of it, that has a lock I've never seen before. Didn't excite me. It was a big Wii with kind of weird flat frag on the sides from the bolster back. It was all tie with blue collars, and then it had a flipper tab. And after you flipped it, you would go up here, and there's a little switch, like right where my thumb is, and you push that back, and it would release the blade. So if it was to fall, which it doesn't, it would fall right on your thumb. Weird design, but totally innovative from anything I've seen. But it didn't excite me. Toyota and Tools, it is zilch. When I wasn't working, it was hard to get motivated. It didn't happen till late at night. And now that I'm doing just a few hours a day, it feels like it zaps more time. I mean, it's just, and I think it's me with just lack of motivation or creative constipation. And if I would follow my own recipe, I know what videos get views when I do groups of knives. It just seems to me like that's not inspiring. It's just, people have already seen it. Maybe not the same people, but I don't know. Making videos, I always say if you're going to start a channel, start with like doing a couple of videos a week. Some of the guys that do really well, like Duty's Daggers and others, Rochambeau, they don't post every day. Burning Sable Forge, what's up, brother?
I wonder who told you that.
You did. For me, though, I've got OCD, so now that I've started it, I feel like I've got to do it or I'm letting myself down, which is a false worry. It's just something that's in my head. Had I started with a lot less, I wouldn't feel that way. I wouldn't feel like I'm having to chase to keep up with what I've done before. And there were times when I'd put 2 or 3 videos out a day. But I'll get burned out enough and not do it. I think I'll initially kind of slow down, like Shabazz, except I won't have nearly the subscribers when I do. I have 2 pairs of Nick's boots and all sorts of cool stuff I need to do videos on. Tens of thousands of views. That's awesome, Tools and Toyotas. But the trick is, this, when you're making a video, you're in essence talking to yourself about something, this inanimate object that you like. But you've got to be able to convey that enthusiasm. So you've got to be in the mood to be, accurate about how it makes you feel, or at least I do. If I'm in a glum, kind of cloudy mood, I'm not going to make a video. It's just, it doesn't work well. And if y'all see me try to get the scales on that dragonfly, I wish I'd put that out. I would have probably lost my channel for some of the words I used. But I was squirreling out, not getting it together, and it was all on film until it got to be about 45 minutes. Then I stopped it. The 8022, I tell you who loves it, Dr. Drew Dude. Gary Creeley picked one up at the New York Custom Knife Show from Andrew, and he's been showing it off. He loves it. I think it's a good bit smaller than the 8020, right, Kyle? The 8022?
Side by side, but I believe it is smaller than the full size. It's not a full size knife.
Right, but I think it might be thick. Or maybe it's not. I can't remember. But I feel good about anything Demko makes. I'm a fan. I used to have 4 20.5s. I'm down to 2, but I've got a Shark Cub as well. And I've got a Flytanium Arcade because I love the Shark lock. My buddy's got the full size 80/20 in titanium, and I love the girth of that knife. I love the way that it just feels like a big knife, a big, solid, nice knife. I'm a player.
I keep forgetting to tell you about this, John. They didn't tell me that they were doing this, but it just popped up recently. Let me find.
You got what you got?
I'm getting ready to share it. Hang on 1 second. Here you go. Can you see that?
I can, but I can't read it unless you make it big.
Is that better?
Uh-huh.
This is in their blog. This is in their blog section.
Look at you. Dude, that's fantastic. It's funny that you show me that. We were thinking the same vein because I wondered about, we pretty much promote their stuff on our Friday Night Flicks. It's kind of not that it's brought to them by TS Prof, but they've always been really good partners, and I always scroll their links. And I wondered about them, and I'm glad to see that they're still engaged because I think, and I know you don't like the idea of that school on YouTube, but I still think you could empower so many people in the community to be good sharpeners just by doing little one-on-one classes on our StreamYard here. Doing 30-minute or hour sessions with people.
Yeah, I'd much rather do individual.
Yeah.
One-on-one than I would doing any type of school. So I think people get more benefit out of that than you would doing a school.
Yeah, y'all think about that. Not only does Kyle sharpen knives, but you can always reach out to him for personal instructional stuff that he can talk to you about. And y'all could just connect on a private StreamYard where it's like a WebEx, or it's like this, but it's just you and Kyle in a room. You're watching him sharpen and you've got your sharpener out or you don't. But I just think it's a good way to share skills like that.
Yeah, man, I enjoy teaching. I just don't care to create a channel and all that goes into that because I don't. That's not me.
That's more of a commitment.
That's not my personality either. I don't like that. I would much rather sit there and have a conversation with you, be able to connect and get you the information that you need exactly, than just give generalized statements.
It's more tailored instruction.
Same as the way I handle my business. It's a concierge service. You get exactly what you want, and if you're not sure, I walk you through the steps and the process and hold your hand and make sure you get exactly what you want. It's not going to be just, this is what you have. Here's your options. What do you want?
Yeah, I think that's value that people appreciate, especially people, and the difference there too is you're getting people that are engaged and want to learn. They want to, get better, or they're taking the time as opposed to somebody who might just jump between. I know I jumped between a lot of skills when I was unemployed, trying to think about what I might do. I was jumping into a lot of AI stuff, learning how to script and do things like that. Not script, but prompt. Learn how to ask it questions to get the type of answers I want.
Yeah, I don't want to sit there and just make generic videos and have. I mean, that may grasp a larger audience, but it's not the type of instruction that I want to give. My goal is to help people that are passionate
more
about
like a mentor role.
And I do that a lot with people behind the scenes already. The people reach out and ask questions, and I've always been an open book. If you need help with something or get stuck on something, let me know. I'll walk you through it. Whether that's figuring out what product's best for you, or if you're on a project and you need help getting through a project. But I just don't have the desire to make videos and quote unquote be the knife tuber and all that BS. I'm much more about having that connection, that one-on-one, and being able to teach someone so that way they're getting hands-on. Um, the
They can ask you
it just
questions in real time.
it seems too impersonable and too like fake, and like you're trying to do it for. I don't care about views. I don't care about money. I don't care about that. It's about
And sharpening is not one size fits all. You don't just show how to do it and then think everybody's going to do it like that and do it well.
well, every scenario is different as well too. Like you may have a problem with something that may only help a few people that you need help on. That it's stuck on something that specific to you. Like what we were talking about with Pretty Fly. That's not something that comes up all that often. I'm more than willing to help someone with that though. So Cody, yeah. Cody, yes. So I've got all types of setups.
And you can walk people through instructional stuff one-on-one like that too, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, one of the things I was wondering if Ryan was still in here on that I heard John and Tate talking about is possibly bringing William and Henry in. Isn't that what he collects?
Yeah, that's an odd move for them.
Well, it aligns. It came from their case people, believe it or not. It came from discussions.
I can see that, but I'm talking about monetarily wise. That's an odd.
Theirs is more that they're very, I would say they've got very healthy cash flow, and theirs is more about space. I say that because like that Randall collection that came in, he thinks it could take 3 years to sell those 27 knives. But for him, it's worth it. And that he laid out many, many dollars for those 27 knives, knowing that it was going to take him a lot of time to sell them. But the space is now taken up. So that creates another problem, right?
Yeah.
So with William Henry, I don't know if it's more like you would sell a Rolex where it's you order the knife after you sell. I don't know how it works. I don't know if it works more like a jeweler service or if it's something that you stock them and people come in and buy them, or if they come in and you're an authorized shower. I don't know how that works. Ryan would probably be able to tell us.
They're more of a dealer, and they're very selective about where they sell. But I didn't mean that they couldn't afford the cash flow. I just meant as far as
no, I didn't mean that. It was just like how it's. I didn't mean that you did. I just meant that it seems like an odd move based on the other moves they make. I agree. That's why I wonder if it's some kind of different model.
That, as far as it aligns with them not wanting to necessarily move things as fast and getting full market value. But
or is it a margin thing? Is it maybe they offer such a margin?
That's what has me twisting my head. I don't know. That's to them to figure out which.
Well, I know that that John's very open because I asked him if he has a collection at home, and he said he quit collecting after about 5 years in the business because unfortunately, the business makes you look at it as dollars in, dollars out. And so I think you've got limited amount of space. I think over the years, he's probably realized the knives, and he's not offering crap. Nothing in there is, he does have a Chinese section where you can get a $14 assisted knife, but it's a very small section. But I think he tries to focus on things that have healthy margins where he can give a discount and still make it worth his while. And then those Randalls, I can only imagine it's probably, I'm guessing maybe half of what they're worth in retail is what you would buy a used vintage collection like that. I have no idea.
It depends on the situation and how hard up they were to sell.
No restoration needed. So that's one thing that's for the seller had an advantage of. They were all ready to go out, where a lot of his cases, he has to restore them to some extent.
Getting margins on that all becomes the intensity of the seller and how much they want to move the items, because that can dictate a lot of what those type of knives will be worth, because they're in the same boat of selling those as what John would be trying to sell them. If he wants to get most out of it, he can sit and wait forever.
And that's what I've noticed, with the exception of Benchmade, which has kind of a discount that they tell you about. I've seen him walk away from several $1,000 case displays for $50 or for sales tax, because he says he's got them priced so close. So obviously he's willing to sit on some of that rare stuff, knowing that somebody's going to buy it from somewhere, because people do come from all over the country and call from all over the country.
FYI, we got 10 minutes. So,
oh, well, guys, Kyle, do you got anything to share with these people, or you're taking reservations yet, or are you still about a week out?
I'm a week or so out. If you got something, hit me up and I can kind of give you an idea and get you in the queue. Yeah.
Well, guys, thanks for everybody hanging out. I hope y'all are going to Said Stevie. If not, if you're a channel member, please come by Sunday at 4. I will put up a tile tonight or tomorrow, and we'll do our secret word game. But guys, thank you for hanging. I appreciate each and every one of you. Look out for the guy or gal to your left. Keep an eye out for the guy or gal to your right. Look out for each other, and go forward with love in your heart. And always choose debate, not hate. Peace, guys. Later.
I'm back in my bag, yo. Conscious. ISO. Diamond. Back in my bag and I got a brag.